25% of those staff beds are COVID-19 patients. Starting now, you must have a mask in Collier County. Commissioners voted if you're shopping or eating inside a Collier County business, you must be wearing a face covering. A renewed push to find out who shot and killed Stephon Strouder and Sean Achilles in front of Club Blue in Fort Myers back in 2016. Yesterday,
What's up? You good?
Agencies announced Operation Club Blue, a renewed effort to find out who fired into the crowd. 14 others were heard. A $20,000 reward.
You hear me okay?
Information that leads to an arrest. Lee Health says it received a 16-day supply of remdesivir, an antiviral drug that's been shown to help treat coronavirus patients. The hospital says it's expected to get more shipments today and Monday. Right now, Lee County Schools' back-to-school plan does not require students to wear face masks at all times, but Superintendent Dr. Greg Adkins says that could change. He tells us he meets with the Department of Health regularly and talked about the possibility of not opening 5 days a week as the Commission of Education ordered. Edison Mall wants you to wear a mask. The mall is not mandating it, but says they're leaving the decision up to the individual stores. Customers are also encouraged to follow social distancing and CDC guidelines. I'm Lindsay Sablon with Wink News.
Wink News traffic.
Good Wednesday morning. The midweek commute in Fort Myers starting to get a little busy on Daniels Parkway, heading west towards 6 Mile. Also delays getting off of I-75 just a touch eastbound on Daniels to Tree Line. Tree Line slowing north to Plantation. Also congestion on Marsh Avenue. This is heading south of Palm Beach Boulevard. Also delays on Palm Beach Boulevard beginning heading westbound towards I-75. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
The slightly higher than normal rainfall potential for today as a tropical wave moves just to our south. So that means for us, scattered showers and storms, temperatures a little bit lower thanks to a little more cloud cover, with highs peaking in the upper 80s and lower 90s, with heat indices near 100. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Join the movement. Rename Lee County Trump County. 925 foxnews.com. And sign your name today.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it's a fit for you.
Liberal politician Jason Mon is running for his third different office in just the last 4 years. He's even quitting the city council early just to run for another seat. But another political office isn't the only thing Mon is running from. He's also running from his criminal past. Jason Mon was arrested and charged in a drive-by shooting. He was driving drunk and firing a gun from his car while going 100 miles per hour. He pled guilty to charges and was sentenced to jail. Mon has also been delinquent in paying his own property taxes at least 20 times, but voted to raise spending by millions of dollars on city council. We don't need liberal politician Jason Mon in Tallahassee. But conservatives have a choice. Republican Adam Botana is the pro-life, pro-Second Amendment, and pro-Trump leader we can trust. He shares our conservative values and will serve us with honor. Paid by Adam Botana, Republican for State Representative.
Tee off and swing into summer at Coral Oaks Golf Course in Cape Coral. Come out and enjoy our excellent playing surfaces, beautiful natural surroundings, GPS golf carts, and low summer rates. Play 18 holes every day for just $35 before noon, $30 afternoon, and $25 after 2 p.m. all summer long. You can book tee times up to 7 days in advance at coraloaksgolf.com. We'll see you at Coral Oaks, where every day is a great day.
Now more than ever, it's essential to have a primary care provider ready to care for you. Book your first appointment through Millennium Physician Group's telehealth service, MPG Connect, and get established with a care team who will be there for you wherever and whenever you need. Primary and specialty care, walk-in centers, lab services, imaging centers, and COVID-19 evaluation and testing. Connect with Millennium Physician Group today and be ready for tomorrow. 844-CALL-MPG. 844-CALL-MPG. MillenniumPhysician.com.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steve.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. I am so glad that you are joining us this morning. 239-479-5592. That is the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line. Always streaming live on YouTube. As long as you subscribe, you continue to subscribe, we will continue to be able to do it. So we appreciate you going to YouTube, going to Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. You type that into the search bar, you'll see my face. You click on it, you subscribe, and then we keep this lovely part of the program going. You get to see the lovely and talented Jake the Millennial on some days. It just depends. And also just to let everybody know that the other part of what we're doing here on this program that has been something that is gathering up a lot of steam that we are loving and having a lot of fun with is Trump County, Florida, changing Lee County to Trump County, Florida, and letting you know that I know that there are people that love the idea that are going to the change.org site that I'm going to give you a link to in just a second. To sign off on this, the more we can get, the more we can keep the momentum going, knowing that we love Lee County, we love the name Lee County, we don't have a problem with the name Lee County, but the cancel culture and the way they are and how they've been operating, we know sooner or later they're going to come knocking on the door here in Southwest Florida. They've already been hinting, knocking at it when it comes to the bust of Robert E. Lee downtown and the paintings in the county courthouse downtown. And it's the commission chambers, right? Downtown Fort Myers. And so with all of this taking place, sooner or later, the idea that Robert E. Lee County, we can't have this. Well, guess what? Cancel culture, we get ahead of you. If you're going to do that, let's do it. Let's start talking seriously about changing the name Lee County to Trump County. How about it? So if you want to be part of that, just text the word, is it Trump? Just text the word Trump, right, Jake? That's all we have to do now.
Yep, just the word Trump.
That's it. Just text the word Trump to 239-479-5592, and you'll get the link to the change.org page where you can sign there, and we'll start to build a little bit of mo, right? Isn't that what the kids say, Jake? When you're building momentum, they call it building up the mo.
Nope.
239-479-5592, anytime you want to chime into this program. Hey, so listen, everybody in Collier County, here's the best part of the Collier County commissioners passing a mask mandate yesterday. Well, quite frankly, I'm not sure that there is a best part to this. Only because a week ago, we already went through this. Look, a couple of things happened here. It's another example, number one, of how even though the public made mention of the fact that they did not want a mandatory mask mandate in Collier County. They did not want this. They voted on it last week. Even though they said no to it, we're told because the Chamber of Commerce was like, listen, it's a bad image. This is really bad. It's really bad to make people around the country and around the world think that we don't want mask mandates and we don't care and that the cases are spiking, so that if we put in a mask mandate, then everybody around the world is going to look and think that we're one. Is that how that works? Is that what you think now? So now, because there's a Collier County mask mandate, that everybody around the globe is going to go, hey, let's get to Collier County as soon as we can because they seem like they care. We care anyway. We don't have to have a government edict to tell us that in order to be safe, that we need the county commission to save us, especially considering that the week before we went through this and they agreed that, no, there was not going to be a mask mandate. But no, we can't have that. We got to have local media that is pressing for mandates. We got to have other people that are pressing for mandates. We have to have the not the majority of voices, but the minority of voices. We have to have the lowest count of people who are eager to press to keep pushing to have this change their way. It's very leftist. It's very liberal. It's very Democrat. If you're thinking about this logically, because that's what ends up happening. It's another example of why, some might think, oh, the Trump County thing, Drew, it's kind of tongue in cheek. Yeah, well, guess what? There are going to be people that'll press and push, even in Southwest Florida until they get what they want. Even if it means that we already voted on it and said no, doesn't matter. It's the loudest voices that are going to win. And apparently Penny Taylor was won over. She was the one that called the meeting because she was getting enough pressure from people to say that we have to do this. And as long as you get enough pressure from people, the very few, then that's just how things go. And I wonder how you feel about a mask mandate in Collier County. And, is it going to come to a county commission near you very, very soon? We're starting to see little bits and pieces of this pop up. You see it in different businesses who, look, if a business wants to do this, that is fine. If you want to mandate that your family wears a mask, that's fine. If you want to do it, I am not saying you shouldn't do it. But what I am saying is there are consequences to these actions. Yeah, there are legitimate consequences to the actions of a county who was told a week ago by its constituents that, listen, we don't want a mask mandate. If businesses want to do it, we're cool with that idea. But as far as telling us that we have to do it, that there's a mandate to do it, that apparently somebody is going to go around, I don't know who this is, and how is it that we're going to make sure that people follow this mandate? How does that work? We're hearing that it could be up to a $500 fine. Well, what's going to happen? Are we going to have people walking around now calling 911, calling Collier County to say, I see somebody across the street on 5th Avenue South that's not wearing a mask? Are we going to go around and say, hey, I see somebody that's walking down 41, in the vicinity of Neapolitan Way in that area, and it doesn't look like they're wearing a mask, and I see a couple of other people around them and they're not wearing. How does this work? How are we going to enforce this? Have we talked about that? Or is it just kind of this feel good, look, we're doing a mandate the same kind of way that we're keeping people off the beach because that works so well as far as making sure that we've stopped the spread of the virus around Collier County, although we don't have any evidence to prove that's the case. We're not going to have any evidence to prove that this mask mandate is going to work to either do this positively or negatively affect the community. And that's a very critical point that I'm going to get to. Where's the evidence, everybody? Where's the evidence that would suggest that a mask mandate works? Yes, I know that yesterday the president brought this up, and there are some people making reference to this, that in the coronavirus task team press conference yesterday, where the president spent about 20 or some odd minutes talking to the press, just communicating, understanding that the press hates him virulently, does not like the president of the United States, will do anything and everything to make him sound bad because they would love nothing more than to see him out of office. And yes, the president said,
we're asking everybody that when you are not able to socially distance, wear a mask, get a mask. Whether you like the mask or not, they have an impact, they'll have an effect, and we need everything we can get.
They'll have an effect, whether you like it or not. We're asking people to wear a mask if you can't social distance. There is a big key in that, right? Because we want to be evidence-based, data-based. We want the scientific evidence or the data, at least real-world evidence, to show that what you're doing, Collier County, is going to work. The Collier County commissioners passed a mask mandate yesterday, even though a week before they said, no, we're not going to do it. And then apparently there was enough pressure by somebody to say we have to do this. And now we want the science and data for you, Collier County, to explain to us and to maybe explain to me, where's the science, where is the data that proves that a government-mandated mask mandate, a government edict, will help? Because I can give you plenty of examples that show that it doesn't. I gave you one example yesterday of California, the whole state who mandated masks be worn. And now we're going to double down on that, only to find out that since the mandate went into effect, cases have gone up 162%. How does that work? How is that an example? I mean, that's a real world example of mask mandates that do not work. There are a lot of places around the country where we're seeing spikes, and a lot of those places are places that have mandates in place. Oh, Drew, there's other places. There are doctors, there are hospitals that all say how masks work, how just masks themselves work. I mean, what's your problem? Why don't you want to have people wearing masks? I mean, it's just a mask. What's the big deal? Well, what is the big deal? Is it possible that if you're looking at masks specifically, is there evidence that might show from people that you don't question as some kind of quack or some kind of or an individual who's not a physician, who's not somebody that knows a thing or two about infectious diseases? Is there a possibility that there might be some literature, something that's out there that would say, yeah, it might actually be a problem. It may not help. I'm going to get to that in just a second, because the president, when he said, when you can't social distance, that wearing a mask is something that's important, that you might want to consider doing that you should wear a mask if you can't social distance. And I've got some evidence to show that the president was right on with what he was saying. Of course, it will be taken out of context. It already is. You already have Nancy Pelosi saying it's the Trump virus. And I'm not kidding. Nancy Pelosi said it was the Trump virus.
To wear masks, he admitted that things will get worse before they get better. He said eventually it's going to disappear. How far do you think all that goes in addressing this crisis that's still killing hundreds of Americans every single day?
What do you think about that, Speaker Pelosi? Where do you think she's going with this, everybody, on CNN last night?
Well, I think with the president's comments today, he recognized the mistakes that he has made by now embracing mask wearing, and the recognition this is not a hoax.
He never said it was a hoax.
Pandemic that has gotten worse before it will get better because of his inaction, and in fact, clearly, it is the Trump virus.
There you go. Nancy Pelosi calling it the Trump virus. And you do understand, and even you in Collier County, I hope you do understand that all your best of intentions, all the things that you will do to try to quote unquote help the community here with this mask mandate, in doing this and trying to be the good guys here, that unless you are left leaning, unless you are liberal, unless you are someone who doesn't like the president already, which if you're on the county commission in Collier County, you may already not be a fan of the president. You're going to hurt the situation. You're not going to help the situation for the president, and I'll explain. Here's the thing that I take away from the Collier County mask mandate. And again, if you want to comment on this, 239-479-5592, or even if you want to comment on Facebook, you can go to our Facebook page, or you can go to our YouTube page, Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. You go there, subscribe to the channel while you're there, and you can pop up a comment, and we'll read those comments on the air as well. And it's this. The president now will lose no matter what with this masks for all, mask mandate, we should wear a mask issue. And when I say he's going to lose, is because this is a win-win for the left, and this is a lose-lose for the left. And what am I talking about? You realize with the mask mandate in Collier County and others that want to mandate these masks, on the political side, because that's what this is all about. If it was not about politics, then it would never have been in the discussion. The vernacular would never be talking about anything that has to do with Republican or Democrat or red state or blue state or anything like this. It would be all about together, unified, we would be tackling this, but it's never been the case. You might want to ask why. But the mask mandate in Collier County does this. It's one of two things, everybody. Number one, the cases will naturally go down. The cases are starting to spike. We start to see the amount of cases going up. We see the amount of deaths going down. If you follow the Department of Health here in the state of Florida, you're starting to see the death rate, the deaths from the virus go way down. You're starting to see this spike, and now you're starting to see almost this 9,000 to 10,000 plateau where we're starting to kind of turn this corner. You're going to naturally see the numbers go down. It's just going to happen. The Spanish flu, 1918, it happened then. It's naturally going to happen. You're going to get herd immunity as opposed to suppression. It's naturally going to go down. So what does that mean? That means that those that said mask mandates are going to make the case eventually that it was the mask mandates that did it. What does that mean? That means that anybody who said anything against a mask mandate must be wrong, must not be a good leader, must be a problem. Ask yourself who would be pointed out that way, who would be described that way as somebody who doesn't want a mask mandate. They don't want it at a state level, and they don't want it at a national level. So right there, it's a negative against the governor of the state of Florida and a negative against the president of the United States, just for the fact that naturally we're going to see the numbers go down. It's going to happen. And on the other side of that, what if it doesn't? What if we just continue to see this out of control spike? It's just going to be 10,000 and then 20,000 and then hover 20 and 30 and we're going to start seeing spikes with deaths. Will that be the case? I don't know. I doubt it. But let's just say that were the case. Then do you understand that people are going to look at the president and the governor and say, do you see what's going on here? If you would have just done a mask mandate earlier, then we wouldn't be in this situation. We wouldn't have this problem. And they would call out the governor and they would call out the president of the United States. And with your mask mandate now, and you not listening to all of your constituents, but the loudest voices and the ones that pressure you the most and make you feel the most uncomfortable, that what you've done here is nothing except make it look now just really bad for the governor and the president. And it's not going to be helpful. And not only that, the evidence that is out there that suggests that a mask for all for COVID-19 is not based on sound data. Do we want to do this as data, or do we want to do this as the feels good? Like we've got to do something. Well, sure, they wear masks in hospitals. They have to be good. We've known for decades, for centuries, that masks work. Well, do they work based on the data? CIDRAP is the Center for Infectious Disease Research and Policy at the University of Minnesota. 2 individuals, national experts on respiratory protection and infectious diseases. And the University of Illinois at Chicago did a study on this. Not my words, their words. And when you go through their findings on face coverings, we come to find out something that is pretty interesting. And I'll get into more details on this in a second, but let me just give you a little snippet. Because they've been asked questions. Wearing a face covering, is it better than nothing? I mean, isn't it better than nothing? Shouldn't we be doing something, Drew? Shouldn't we at least be all together on this? I mean, what's the problem wearing a mask? Well, to the point of the president saying that masks might be something you do if you're not in a situation where you can social distance, he may have been spot on with that and not even realize it. Or maybe he does. Because in this study, not my words, not the president's words, but somebody who we would hope we would care about, experts on respiratory protection and infectious diseases, professors at the University of Illinois, Chicago. I mean, is that okay with you? It's wearing a face covering better than nothing. Wearing a cloth mask or face covering could be better than doing nothing, but we simply don't know at this point. We've observed an evolution in the messaging around cloth masks from an initial understanding that they should not be seen as a replacement for physical distancing to more recent messaging that suggests cloth masks are equivalent to physical distancing. And while everyone appears to understand that this messaging suggests that a cloth mask is appropriate only for source control, for example, to protect others from infection, recent CDC and other guidance recommending their use by workers seems to imply that they offer some type of personal protection. What they're saying in this paragraph, we know that workplaces in which employees are told they cannot wear respirators for the hazardous environments they work in, but instead need to wear a cloth mask or face covering. These are dangerous and inappropriate applications that greatly exceed the initial purpose of a cloth mask. We are concerned that many people do not understand the very limited degree to protection a cloth mask or face covering likely offers as source control for people located nearby. Source control. So here's the bottom line in interpreting what that paragraph says, and it's this. The harm that you may be doing with a mask mandate may be that people will look at wearing a mask, a cloth mask that their sister made at the Bridge Club yesterday, or somebody else that they sewed together and put together, where even in this article, they're like, listen, there's different filter performances with different cloths. Not every one is the same. It's not something that you're getting from a manufacturer that you would send to a hospital or a doctor. This is something that's different, that people will think that the mask protects them from their social distancing, and they will do less of it. And in that case, it will not help to bring down the number of cases. It may actually increase the number of cases because people will feel false protection. Not my words, their words. Just some of the evidence. Are we allowed to talk about that? Jake, we're going to get ready to go to break in just a second. I know I'm late. I'm sorry. But are we going to talk about that? Do we get to ask those questions? So when Collier County does this mask mandate, a government edict that tells you that you have to do something, how are you going to enforce it? What does that look like? What does it look like when I don't do it? Does that mean that people now are going to wear masks that don't necessarily protect them the way they think and stop social distancing and making the problem worse? I'm just asking. They think about all of these questions beforehand. Just part of the situation. All right. 239-479-5592. It's Daybreak 92.5. Fox News right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
This Fox Business Report is presented by Gulf Shore Business Magazine. Online at gulfshorebusiness.com.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Twitter says it's removed thousands of QAnon conspiracy theory accounts, citing the risk of harm occurring offline. The company says it will also block content and links associated with those theories from being shared on its platform. QAnon is a loosely based group of online agitators who spread discredited claims such as the deep state trying to topple President Trump. A federal judge dismisses a lawsuit that accused Burger King of deceiving vegan and vegetarian customers about its plant-based Impossible Burgers. The judge said in part, the company's advertising never promised to cook the burgers on grills not used for chicken and beef. And Walmart announces it will close all stores for Thanksgiving Day. Stocks ended mixed. The Dow rose 159 points. The Nasdaq fell 86. I'm Carmen Roberts. That's your Fox Business Report. Invested in you.
Everyone is talking about David Horowitz's new book, Blitz. It's a #1 Amazon bestseller and just hit the New York Times bestseller list. Blitz reveals the truth about Trump. Don Jr. and Mike Huckabee say you need to get Blitz. And follow David Horowitz every night on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable TV channel. Get the new bestseller Blitz at bookstores or get the free offer and save $28. Call 800-NEWSMAX or go to blitz411.com. That's blitz411.com.
The antidote to the anti-conservatives. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hi, this is Matt Caldwell. I spent 8 years in the Florida House fighting for our conservative values. We cut billions in taxes, balanced our budget every year, removed government barriers to job growth, and made huge strides in fixing our water quality. Now I'm looking to use that experience as your next Lee County property appraiser. I've spent the past 20 years working as a professional property appraiser in both the residential and commercial markets. It's something I know well, and I'm the only candidate with this experience in the industry. I'm Matt Caldwell, and through the years, I've proven myself as a trusted, principled conservative. More than ever, it is crucial that we have strong conservatives with a proven record, someone in office that you know will not back down and will always defend our values. I have served you before, and I'm ready to do it again. I'm Matt Caldwell. I'm running for Lee County Property Appraiser, and I'm asking for your vote. Paid by Matt Caldwell, Republican for Lee County Property Appraiser.
Eating dinner in your underwear?
Hey, put some clothes on.
Taking cold showers every hour? Or pitching a tent in front of your refrigerator to stay cool. These are things you can do to beat the heat in your home or stay cool this summer the right way with a $69 AC tune-up with no breakdown guarantee. Visit FloridaCoolToday.com for details. Carrier turn to the experts.
As our state representative, Ray Rodriguez has always been the conservative we could count on. Now, Ray wants to take his conservative record to the Florida Senate. Ray Rodriguez fought to end illegal immigration in Florida. He helped ban sanctuary cities and fought alongside Governor DeSantis to protect our jobs by passing E-Verify. Ray will continue to fight to ensure those in our country illegally will not find sanctuary in our state. When it came to protecting the right to life, no one was more pro-life than Ray Rodriguez. In Florida's Senate, Ray will continue the fight to protect the unborn. And when Donald Trump needed him the most, Ray was there. As one of Florida's members of the Electoral College, Ray stood strong against Hillary Clinton and the Democrats when they tried to steal the election by flipping electors. In the Florida Senate, Ray will always support President Trump and his plan to keep America great. Ray Rodriguez has always been a conservative we could count on. Now, we need him in the Florida Senate. Paid by Ray Rodriguez, Republican, for the Florida Senate.
True relief for back and neck pain.
At Johnston Spinal Care 596 Back, if you're suffering with a spinal-related problem, pain, numbness, or weakness, through the use of spinal decompression therapy, we've helped hundreds and hundreds of local residents return to a pain-free, productive life. People who once suffered from stenosis, sciatica, bulging, or herniated discs and thought there was no solution are now living pain-free. Spinal decompression is relaxing and painless, while it gently eases pressure off painful nerves and spinal discs. No pain, no needles, and no surgery. I've successfully been using spinal decompression in Southwest Florida for over 13 years, and the results are only getting better. Take your life back. Call our Medicare-friendly office today for a free telephone consultation to find out how spinal decompression can help you. Johnston Spinal Care, 596 Back. 596-2225. That's 596-2225.
Attention commercial building owners. The Flying Locksmiths of Southwest Florida are now open, specializing in automatic doors, access controls, and CCTV cameras. Visit them online at flyinglocksmiths.com. If it's on the door, we handle it.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Summer is in full swing, and my friends Jason and Todd with the Diamond District are continuing to liquidate the largest selection of GIA and Forever Mark loose certified diamonds, engagement rings, and fashionable diamond jewelry.
It's Kaylee Kobe with your Kobe Cooling Tip of the Day. It's summertime, so it's hot. Make sure you change your AC filters every month and have your air conditioners cleaned twice a year by NATE certified mechanics, like my dad. All the mechanics at Kobe Cooling are NATE certified because you deserve the best. If your AC stops working, turn it off and call 239-482-1542 and relax. We will take it from there. 24/7, same low prices, never no more time charge. When you think of air conditioning companies, we hope you'll think of Kobe Cooling. No nonsense, no pressure. We're the company your neighbors use. License CICO 57313. Kobe, most trusted name in the business since 1949.
Thank you for your business all these years.
That's what sleeping with a CPAP sounds like. If you can't use CPAP, imagine pressing a button and it sounding like this. That's sleeping with Inspire. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body with one click of a remote. That's right, just a button. If you have sleep apnea, great sleep awaits at InspireSleep.com. That's InspireSleep.com. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. No mask, no hose, just sleep.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you and review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
Now, this is a Wink News Update.
I'm Lindsay Sablon with Wink News. Lee Health's staffed beds are at 100% capacity, but the hospital says everyone will still get the care you need. The hospital system is calling in nurses on paid leave, nurses on sabbatical, and travel nurses so they can open up more beds. Though they are not out of beds, they have reached the maximum that they can adequately staff. 25% of those staffed beds are COVID-19 patients. Starting now, you must have a mask in Collier County. Commissioners voted if you're shopping or eating inside a Collier County business, you must be wearing a face covering. A renewed push to find out who shot and killed Stephon Strouder and Sean Achilles in front of Club Blue in Fort Myers back in 2016. Yesterday, local and federal law enforcement agencies announced Operation Club Blue, a renewed effort to find out who fired into the crowd. 14 others were heard. A $20,000 reward is up for grabs for any information that leads to an arrest. Lee Health says it received a 16-day supply of remdesivir, an antiviral drug that's been shown to help treat coronavirus patients. The hospital says it's expected to get more shipments today and Monday. Right now, Lee County Schools' back-to-school plan does not require students to wear face masks at all times, but Superintendent Dr. Greg Adkins says that could change. He tells us he meets with the Department of Health regularly and talked about the possibility of not opening 5 days a week as the Commission of Education ordered. Edison Mall wants you to wear a mask. The mall is not mandating it, but says they're leaving the decision up to the individual stores. Customers are also encouraged to follow social distancing and CDC guidelines. I'm Lindsay Sablon with Wink News.
Wink News traffic.
Good Wednesday morning. The midweek commute in Fort Myers starting to get a little busy on Daniels Parkway, heading west towards 6 Mile. Also delays getting off of I-75 just a touch eastbound on Daniels to Tree Line. Tree Line slowing north to Plantation. Also congestion on Marsh Avenue. This is heading south of Palm Beach Boulevard. Also delays on Palm Beach Boulevard heading westbound towards I-75. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
The slightly higher than normal rainfall potential for today as a tropical wave moves just to our south. So that means for us, scattered showers and storms, temperatures a little bit lower thanks to a little more cloud cover, with highs peaking in the upper 80s and lower 90s, with heat indices near 100. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Plug into the power. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
I'm Ray Sandelli, Lee County Commissioner for District 3. I'm a businessman, a veteran, and a proud family man. I have seen firsthand the impact the County Commission can have on our day-to-day lives and understand how critical it is to have someone with the right values in this office. The impact of the coronavirus is unprecedented. Now more than ever, we need to trust in our conservative principles to guide us back to prosperity. I'm Ray Sandelli, and I have the business experience and values we need to lead our county through difficult times. That's why Governor DeSantis put his trust in me. As a naval officer, aviator, and member of the Blue Angels flight demonstration team, I learned to trust my instincts. Now, my instincts tell me we need to reduce government, minimize regulations, and keep taxes low so we can bring jobs back to Lee County. I'm Ray Sandelli, and I'm asking for your vote. Paid by Ray Sandelli, Republican, for Lee County Commission, District 3.
Summer clearance event going on now at Galliana Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Lowest prices ever on over 1,500 new and certified pre-owned vehicles. All new Jeep Gladiator lease, $259 per month. Loaded luxurious Grand Cherokee Limited lease, $279 per month. New Ram Bighorn Crew Cab lease, just $299 per month. That's right, award-winning Ram trucks, $299 per month. Plus at Galliana Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, you can drive payment-free for 3 months, interest-free for 6 years, and worry-free up to 100,000 miles. Plus, our parts service and body shop are open to serve you. Summer clearance event featuring Ram Bighorn Crew Cabs for $299 per month at Galliana Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 1/2 mile south of Daniels Parkway on US 41 in Fort Myers. Open every day, including Sunday. Call 239-481-2600. GallianaCars.com. 42-month leases, 10,000 miles per year, $32.94 due at signing plus tax, tag, title, 0 security deposit, $13.88 per month per thousand borrowed for 72 months at 0% APR with 0 down with lender approval. Offers don't combine.
Decorating a light switch cover? That's a do-it-yourself. Rewiring the light switch? That's a don't do-it-yourself. Don't take chances. Call your locally owned Mr. Sparky for any electrical repair. We always leave your home safer than we found it. And Mr. Sparky's straightforward pricing means no surprises.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
I'm Casey Askar. More immigrants come to America than any other nation on earth. But with a deadly virus spreading across the globe and millions of Americans unemployed, our borders have to be secure. That's why President Trump's order suspending immigration is essential. This pandemic proves just how important borders are. I'm Casey Askar, and I approve this message. I'll help the president finish the wall and control the border once and for all.
Paid for by Casey Asker for Congress.
If you're looking for a great-paying part-time job with flexible hours, check out 2020 Census Jobs. You may have another job, or not. You may even be retired or looking for some extra income, but you can also help make sure that everyone gets counted. So apply today at 2020 census.gov/jobs to help strengthen your community.
Lower taxes, debt reduction, increased reserves. That's what Kevin Ruane did as mayor of Sanibel. Now Kevin Ruane is running for District 1 on the Lee County Commission. An accountant and businessman, Kevin Ruane knows what it takes to balance a budget and has the record to prove it. Kevin cut Sanibel's taxes by 26% and reduced debt by 80%, all while increasing the city's reserve funds. Now, more than ever, Lee County needs a strong conservative that knows how to run a business and isn't afraid to make the tough decisions to get our economy back on track. We need Kevin Ruane on the County Commission, guiding the way to job creation and financial stability as our economy recovers from the coronavirus crisis. Kevin will bring his 40 years of business experience and his proven record of results to the County Commission to lead the charge in the tough times that lie ahead. Let's put Kevin Ruane to work for us. Vote for Kevin Ruane for Lee County Commissioner. Paid by Kevin Ruane, Republican, for Lee County Commissioner, District 1.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. It's Drew Steele streaming live on YouTube. Love for you to watch and subscribe so we can keep doing this, and it really does help, and we appreciate it. Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. Thank you so much for that. Also, for all the people that are watching on Facebook, we appreciate you being there as well. Anytime you want to call and comment on whatever is going on this program. And best of all, you could also be part of a movement that seems to begin to be gathering more steam, if you will. Trump County, look, if the cancel culture is going to come to your door sooner rather than later, and by all accounts, it seems as if a lot of things that are going on would have it leaning that way. You know, Robert E. Lee and all the issues with statues and the issues with changing names. And I think it was even the Cleveland Indians, I even heard this morning that the Cleveland Indians are gathering. Sorry, can I even say that anymore? Cleveland, the baseball team formerly known as the Cleveland Indians, are gathering with their players today. They're getting together because they want to know from the players what they think about a name change. So they're going to go to the players and say, hey, what do you guys think? What should we change to Cleveland, the Cleveland name to? Which I'm sure that ultimately whatever they come up with will be questioned by somebody because, you know, everybody cancels everybody in the cancel culture. So there'll be something wrong with, let's call ourselves and then they'll find something wrong with whatever name comes up because it'll hurt somebody for some reason. We get ahead of the cancel culture here. And look, if you don't like the name of Lee County because Robert E. Lee, I'll tell you what, let's change it to Trump County. And if you're on board with that, we're gathering petitions on a change.org page, and we're trying to gather more information on how the process will go along. We need logos. We need a lot of stuff, Jake, right? Don't we? We need coffee mugs. What else could we do? I mean, if we change the name to Trump County, by the way, all you have to do is text the word Trump to 239-479-5592. Text the word Trump right now, and that'll take you to our change.org page. And right there, you can be part of this movement. What are we thinking here, Jake? And maybe people can text as well. We need coffee mugs, right? We need T-shirts.
The pop-up tents.
Pop-up tents, because we know how important that is around your house.
Flag?
A what?
A flag?
Flags, keychains. What are some of the other things that would be county related? I don't know. Maybe we need to find out from you. So you can text us 239-479-5592. Listen, I'm open to every idea when it comes to we got to market. We got to market Trump County, everybody. How do we get the marketing train going? I mean, I'm looking for your help on that too. So yeah. So anyway, the point is that cancel culture coming for us. No. We tell you, we get ahead of this. So just text the word Trump to 239-479-5592. And be part of the change.org petition, sign there, and let's get this movement rolling because I need to get my keychain business going. All right. So let's see. What other stories do we have out there? Hey, speaking of sports, isn't it exciting that we have the sports teams, the sports around the country, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, We're talking about patriotism. We're talking about raising the American flag and flying it high and singing the national anthem and standing for the anthem and being proud. Who am I kidding? That's not at all what's happening, even in the least. So on the heels of yesterday, we come to find out that the newest sport, the latest sport that is woke, is Major League Baseball. I guess they feel like they've been left out of all of the discussion. It's almost like marketing. Think about it this way. If you're somebody, let's say like Major League Baseball, and you're sitting around and everybody's trying to figure out you're having a season, you're not having a season, you're having a half season right now, you're having people play in a stadium that's filled with cardboard cutouts of people that would be sitting in the stadium anyway, because that's what baseball is all about. It's really odd and really weird, but we roll with it. And they do all of these different things. And yet, with baseball, there's a little bit of attention. Football gets a ton of attention because Colin Kaepernick and the kneeling of the anthem and that discussion. And then listen, and the NBA comes along and says, "Hold on a second, hold on, you guys are kneeling? Oh no, you don't understand. We've got that. We do even more than that, than the kneeling thing. Come on, we have." Names that we can put on the back of our jerseys. We can put all kinds of things like F the police and all kinds of stuff. Who knows what I'm going to have on the back of my jersey? You'll just have to wait until the season starts again to find out what's going to be on the back of my jersey. And then you can go out to the NBA's store and you can create your own t-shirt or poster or flag or keychain that will do the same exact thing. No, I'm not kidding. I'm dead serious that this is what's going to be happening on the NBA level. And so the NFL says, oh, no, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Hold on. You can't continue to do that. So what does the NFL do? They come out yesterday and say that they're going to let players wear helmet decals with the names of, quote, victims of systemic racism and police violence. From the Daily Caller, it's right there. How about that, everybody? Your favorite NFL player is going to be running around with the name of somebody on the back of the helmet, and then when asked why that name is there on the sidelines, they'll get to tell everybody it's because police violence and how awful police are and systemic racism. So in all of this, as the NFL is trying to outdo the NBA, who's trying to outdo the NBA, and they're going back and forth, and they're getting tons of applause and joyous media members who think this is awesome that we continue to talk this way about our police and kneeling when it comes to the American flag and what that means and how social justice warriors come along now and start to get into that. Major League Baseball is like, well, hold on a second. What about us? We're just as cool as you guys are. And so what did they end up doing yesterday? We had the Cincinnati Reds and the San Francisco Giants players kneeling during the national anthem there. Yep. Yes, they did. So you've got players now on Major League Baseball that are doing the same thing. There you go. Members of the Giants kneeling during the anthem. Is this the actual? Is this all right? So this is a video. This is. Yep. I'm going to stop for a second. Baseball. Kneeling during the national anthem. You hear the music in the background. You and I all know what the national anthem means, what it is about, the men and women who fought and died for this country, to protect your freedoms, to be able to say and speak and do the things that you do. Those lives lost. How we take pride and we love this country. Not the distorted version of the country that is being put out there on display by some. I didn't say everybody. I said some. Fortunately, there's a lot of polling that's going on right now, and I think it was either Pew or Rasmussen recently that is talking about how it looks as if some of what is being discussed when it comes to not exactly thinking that the country was founded the right way and that our founders maybe weren't the best people. It's starting to resonate. We're getting close to a 50-50 split here in the country polling of people who believe that this country is a racist country and even to our founding. So the pounding and the talking and the continuous push seems to be working. But do we get to talk about those individuals as well? Do we get to talk about those that you probably know, somebody in your family, somebody who lost their life to fight for your freedom, freedom that you enjoy right now in this country, to be able to speak and to do these things as we get the ability to look at what you're doing and say, yeah, we do. We're going to kind of cancel you out. Maybe we won't show up at games. Maybe we won't show up and watch. We have a say in this, you know. Get to talk about the officers that are out there each and every day as they close that door and walk out on those streets here in Southwest Florida and across the country. Family members who know that individual is leaving and not knowing whether or not they're going to come back because of the risks that are involved in the job that they perform each and every day, and how that does happen each and every day. And sometimes at the hands of individuals who are doing it for no other reason other than this push to make this country and those individuals in particular look so bad and so evil that the only reason why that person didn't come home was because of the rhetoric that's out there. Anybody want to talk about that? Do we get to mention that? Look, you're not powerless. Here's the point. You're not powerless in all of this. You don't have to sit back and watch all of this unfold before you and say, I can't do anything. You can do a lot. You know, if you don't like what you see at the NFL level and the NBA level and now the Major League Baseball level, and you don't like this, you have a say. If you don't like what is happening when it comes to the way media outlets, whether it's local, state, national, are reporting different things, you have a say. When it comes to the way police are being treated and to recognize those and to call out those who would stand with the people who speak about officers the way they do, police departments, members of the military, the flag that's flying quite possibly outside your door right now, you have the ability to do something. That is to make sure that they do not get elected into a public office, to continue to push a narrative like that. And it's the reason why, if you're trying to understand what we're trying to accomplish with the cancel culture and the changing of Lee County to Trump County, that's it. Do you see that? Is that you're not powerless. When the cancel culture comes for you in this county, in this town, in this state, in this area, where you live, you're not powerless. Changing Lee County to Trump County is something that you may not like because, well, I like Lee County. Well, so do I. But you see what happens when the voices that are the loudest, that aren't necessarily the majority, push hard enough. You get mask mandates in Collier County, and you get people who want to change the name of Lee County to something else. And I guarantee you it won't be Trump. It won't be Reagan. It won't be anything that you like. It'll be what they want and they like it. That's why we do Trump County, and that's why we're doing this change.org petition, because we get to get ahead of it, and we get to decide. You get to decide, because you do have power. All right. We got to run. I'm looking at the time. Okay. It's Daybreak 92.5, Fox News, right all along. Traffic here, Sabrina Katz.
Fires at Colonial Boulevard and Solomon, slowing traffic at the intersection. No major backups for right now, but keep this in mind, especially as you are heading off of that Midpoint Bridge into Fort Myers. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. Scattered showers and storms again this afternoon, and you'll notice a little more cloud cover and wind breezy at times throughout the day. High temperatures in the upper 80s for most of Southwest Florida. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour. Rush Limbaugh.
America. 5 better places to target the next time you go rioting. Now, this guy says that his readers need a better strategy. Don't torch the AutoZone. Don't torch a local bar. You use them. Instead, he said, rioters ought to attack 5 places that make America not great. First, to get back at the NRA, Kotz says that his readers ought to torch the local gun shop instead of burning down restaurants. Next, says the University of Phoenix should be targeted because they supposedly fool kids who have no business going to college to get worthless degrees while getting buried in debt. Then comes Wells Fargo, the nation's fourth largest bank, a symbol of unequal justice, according to Mr. Kotz. Rioters should take revenge. Next up, rioters ought to find the nearest Amazon warehouse and burn it down. Jeff Bezos and his buddies are guilty of weaponizing technology against their own workers. They come close to recreating a plantation economy. And last but not least, Kotz says that J.P. Morgan should be attacked since they're the biggest American bank and criminal enterprise. Now, he may pretend it's all a joke, but it isn't. This is what's inside these twisted, deranged liberal minds, and it's now on American streets. It's serious stuff. Sometimes in life, it's easy to settle for good enough. But with identity theft protection, good enough isn't enough. Data breaches appear to be happening more and more, placing your data in the wrong hands, and that leads to identity theft. Now, if you're only monitoring your credit, you could miss certain threats, like somebody selling your info on the dark web. LifeLock sees a wide range of identity threats, and if you end up with an identity theft issue, a restoration specialist dedicated to your case will work to fix it. Now, look, no one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all the transactions at all businesses, but shouldn't you have identity theft protection that's better than just good enough? Go to lifelock.com or call them at 800-440-4833. Use my name as the promo code. That's RUSH. Save up to 25% off your first year. lifelock.com. Promo code RUSH, 25% off.
Don't let the phony cancel culture liberals have all the fun. Join the movement.
I was a Trumpster from day one.
Rename Lee County Trump County. Speak up at 925foxnews.com.
For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau. You can count on us for great service. You can count on us to get it done. You can count on us for a price that's fair. And quality is second to none. For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau.
Majority Leader of the Florida House, Dane Eagle.
I'm Dane Eagle. I'm running for Congress because experience matters. We need proven conservatives fighting for us in Washington. As the Republican Majority Leader of the Florida House, I have proven myself as a trusted conservative. I cut over $10 billion in taxes while balancing Florida's budget. And I've tackled immigration. I fought beside Governor DeSantis to ban sanctuary cities and pass E-Verify. I'm Dane Eagle, and I approve this message because we cannot afford to take another chance on inexperienced, unproven candidates based on campaign ads. That has failed us in the past, and it will fail us again. When I say I'll do something, it's not an empty promise. It's something I've already proven I can and will do. I'm Dane Eagle, and I have the experience to bring back our economy, fight illegal immigration, and keep America great. Send me to Congress. I will stand with President Trump, and I will fight for America. That's a promise, not an ad.
Thank you, Dane.
Paid for by Dane Eagle for Congress.
Attention, Southwest Florida. It's not too late. You can still get $8,000 over Kelley Blue Book value for your trade-in, but only at Naples Nissan. Hundreds of new SUV models to choose from, all backed by our exclusive unlimited mile lifetime warranty. Pick out your favorite at naplesnissan.com. Then come see us on Pine Ridge Road to find out the KBB.com current market value for your trade-in. We'll give you $8,000 more so you can drive that brand new Nissan home today. If KBB says it's worth $5,000, Naples Nissan will give you $13,000. If KBB says 10, we'll give you 18. You must act fast, though. Visit naplesnissan.com for full details. Offer on select models with approved credit and cannot be combined.
I'm Casey Askar. More immigrants come to America than any other nation on earth. But with a deadly virus spreading across the globe and millions of Americans unemployed, our borders have to be secure. That's why President Trump's order suspending immigration is essential. This pandemic proves just how important borders are. I'm Casey Askar, and I approve this message. I'll help the president finish the wall and control the border once and for all.
Paid for by Casey Asker for Congress.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 7 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
This Wink News Update is presented by Lee Auto Group. Find your perfect vehicle at lee-cars.com.
Now, this is a Wink News Update.
I'm Lindsay Sablon with Wink News. Lee Health's staffed beds are at 100% capacity, but the hospital says everyone will still get the care you need. The hospital system is calling in nurses on paid leave, nurses on sabbatical, and travel nurses so they can open up more beds. Though they are not out of beds, they have reached the maximum that they can adequately staff. 25% of those staffed beds are COVID-19 patients. Starting now, you must have a mask in Collier County. Commissioners voted if you're shopping or eating inside a Collier County business, you must be wearing a face covering. A renewed push to find out who shot and killed Stephon Strouder and Sean Achilles in front of Club Blue in Fort Myers back in 2016. Yesterday, local and federal law enforcement agencies announced Operation Club Blue, a renewed effort to find out who fired into the crowd. 14 others were heard. A $20,000 reward is up for grabs for any information that leads to an arrest. Lee Health says it received a 16-day supply of remdesivir, an antiviral drug that's been shown to help treat coronavirus patients. The hospital says it's expected to get more shipments today and Monday. Right now, Lee County Schools' back-to-school plan does not require students to wear face masks at all times, but Superintendent Dr. Greg Adkins says that could change. He tells us he meets with the Department of Health regularly and talked about the possibility of not opening 5 days a week as the Commission of Education ordered. Edison Mall wants you to wear a mask. The mall is not mandating it, but says they're leaving the decision up to the individual stores. Customers are also encouraged to follow social distancing and CDC guidelines. I'm Lindsay Sablon with Wink News.
Wink News traffic.
A crash in Fort Myers at Colonial Boulevard and Solomon, slowing traffic at the intersection. No major backups for right now, but keep this in mind, especially as you are heading off of that Midpoint Bridge into Fort Myers. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. You can expect another afternoon with scattered showers and storms, mostly cloudy skies, and wind breezy at times. You will see areas of heavy rain off and on throughout the day, and you'll also notice the temperatures will be a little bit lower as well, with most areas capping out in the upper 80s to lower 90s. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Drive the lefties at work crazy with the facts. Get up to speed. Mornings with Drew Steele. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We sell more low-mileage cars and trucks than anyone in Southwest Florida because we have more. Over 300 vehicles in stock with locations in Fort Myers and Tampa. See for yourself at lee-cars.com.
Get a 2020 GMC Yukon Denali with only 8,000 miles, like new, but for thousands less. Or a 2008 Kia Sorento SUV with only 43,000 miles for just $6,500. With over 300 vehicles, visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
The team at Best Home Services understands that this is a time of much uncertainty and much unknown. With this uncertainty comes feelings of fear and panic. Please know that we are here for you today, tomorrow, and into the future as we move forward together, safely and comfortably. We are all in this together, and as stewards of our community, we promise to continue to provide you the services needed to keep you and your family safe. You are not alone. Best Home Services, our family protecting your family.
Hi, I'm Jim Levins, and I'm running for Lee County Sheriff. For more than 30 years, I've served on the front lines of law enforcement, all right here in Lee County. Now, as radicalized Democrats attempt to open our borders, destroy our churches, and defund the police, it is more important than ever to have a pro-cop, pro-Trump, pro-law and order sheriff who won't give in to the liberal mob and who will fight for you each and every day. That's exactly who I am, and that's exactly what I'll do. I'm Jim Levins, running for Lee County Sheriff, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Jim Levins, Republican for Lee County Sheriff.
You know the problem in Washington? Too many politicians are full of should. They should keep promises, should serve the people, should avoid corruption. But when it's time to deliver, it's just a load of should. Then along comes Donald J. Trump, and the DC insiders, they lose their should. Byron Donalds is a lot like Trump that way. Donalds is willing to shake things up. You could take Trump's word for it.
I want to thank Representative Donalds. He's got a tremendous future ahead of him.
Now Byron Donalds is running for Congress. Donalds fought for low taxes in Tallahassee. He'll keep fighting to protect your paycheck in Congress. Donalds backs term limits. And Donalds stands with Trump to defend our police. Conservative Republican Byron Donalds for Congress. He'll make a difference in Washington. No should. Paid for by Club for Growth Action. Clubforgrowthaction.org and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Club for Growth Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Hi, how you doing? Glad to see you. It's nice. You look fantastic. You've got a beautiful place. Streaming live on YouTube there at Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. Subscribe to the channel. You can see me. I can see you. I can't see you. That'd be really creepy, right? If people were on YouTube and they were watching me stream live at Drew Steele Radio, and please subscribe. It's free. Just hit the subscribe button. It helps to keep this going. It would be funny if every time they turned on YouTube, I would be watching them in their living rooms or kitchens or wherever they're at. Nothing creepy about that. Not like what do you call that thing? The smart devices where you're, like FaceTiming or Alexa, that kind of stuff.
What's that Trump thing behind you?
What is that Trump thing behind me? Oh, I'm at, by the way, for those that don't know, I'm at my non-palatial home studios. Jake's back at the Big Boy studio. I'm fine. Everything is fine. Nothing here. Just to be quite honest with you, it's just, I don't know. Have people been asking why I'm not in the studio? Do you really want to know why?
Besides the wink people.
Okay, well, just because I have, look, I'm an open book. I don't mind telling you. I just have really bad allergies. And so when I get these bad allergies, sometimes I have to clear my throat or cough. And I just thought, you know what? Rather than have people look at me in doubt and question, and it's like, if you've got a cough, why are you in the building kind of thing? I'd just rather stay here and just work its way through kind of thing. Does that make sense?
I mean, I was just going to go with the, do it because you can.
Okay. I'm doing it because I can, everybody. That's all you need to know. All right. That's the Understanding Trump book, I think, behind me is Newt's book. I believe that's the one that's there. Choice Not an Echo is there on the desk, too. I think there's a William Bennett book up there as well. It's talking about, well, if you can't really see, but there's in this room here, there's a lot of books. This whole wall, like right. Let me see if you're watching on YouTube, you're getting this. I'm sorry if you're listening at home. We're going to get to some of the pertinent issues, the big stuff, like, Collier County mask mandates, which, of course, everybody knows that if you've mandated a mask, if the government mandates masks, that everything will go away. I can't even say it with a straight face. I'm sorry, but it's not really funny. But that's what they did, and I want to get your thoughts on it. So if you're looking at the YouTubes, as the kids call it, on this side where my hand is here, this whole wall behind me is all, we homeschool. So the whole wall is filled with books. It's a pretty good sized room that I'm in right now. And the whole wall is just filled with books and everything. I'm looking at right now, my wife was reading Carlo Collodi's Pinocchio. Jake, do you think you know the story of Pinocchio?
Yeah, I think so.
Have you ever read the book Pinocchio? Yeah. If you've watched the Disney movie Pinocchio and then read the book Pinocchio, it's a little different. It's sort of like the Brothers Grimm books, the Grimm books. There, it's a little. Let's just put it this way. It's interesting when some of these media places, major media like Disney and others, take these stories from classic books and then make them into movies. And then you read the book and it's like, that's not what happened to that. This is not a good ending. This is not how the movie ended. Wait a second. Yeah, so this whole wall is just filled with, I'm looking at all kinds of great books that I have here. And so there you go. All right, that's how we started. Good night, everybody. Is that it? That's how we started the program today. Again, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, Drew Steele, Steele with 3 E's. And if you like what you see, we get to keep this going, and it's free. All right, so a lot of the things that I wanted to talk about this morning, Joel Pollack will be joining us, senior editor at Breitbart, coming up at 8 o'clock. He's got a brand new book. Are we going to see socialism come into play in this election? Is that what we will see? He's got a brand new book out that I'm interested to find out more about when it comes to this election. And the book is called, what is it? Red November. Will the country vote red for Trump or red for socialism? Ooh. So that's coming up at 8. A lot of people are frustrated by what happened in Collier County, the mask mandate, because government mandates of masks have yet to be proven scientifically, data-wise, that when you do it, you get the results you're looking for. If you're asking me how I would say something like that, I look at California as an example. California up 162% in cases since they had the mask mandate statewide. Hasn't helped them. So I'm wondering where the science is in Collier County and why they decided to do that. Also, how masks work specifically and the concerns about is wearing a face covering better than nothing. I read to you earlier, CIDRAP is a Centers for Infectious Disease Research and Policy. They probably know a thing or two about this because it's in the name. It's what they do at the University of Minnesota. And they were questioned about some of their policies, or excuse me, the research on masks and how they do or do not work. And one of the big questions there was, why not just wear a mask? What's the problem here? Just wear a mask. Everybody will feel better. Well, the feels is the problem, even with this study talking about wearing a face covering better than nothing. And what they said is no, because number one, face coverings, flattening curves, stopping pandemics. Well, every mask is different, and masks, as far as even the ones that you would buy from China. See what I did there? But, the masks, the N95s and those masks only have a certain degree of protection. The mask that you're getting from Aunt Betty, who's at the Bridge Club meeting right now, who's stitching it up. And we love that you're doing that, Aunt Betty. Just keep it up. Don't stop. I'm not saying you should stop, and I'm not saying you shouldn't wear a mask. I'm just saying that different masks, different cloths have different filtering abilities. And so the performance of an individual mask is different depending on where you're getting the mask from and the like. And then the problem that they mentioned, and one of the big ones, is people start to look at face masks, masking, as the ability to now not worry about other things like social distancing. And they mentioned that specifically, that it's appropriate for certain source control, like protecting others from infection, but they're saying that people should make sure that, and the concerns that they have noticed is that it's equivalent to physical distancing. And so people start to get closer because the mask gives them a false sense of protection. And then ultimately, we don't get a change. The kind of change that the Collier County commissioners believe that they're going to get. Besides the fact that they got pressured. Besides about that, last week we did this and everybody was like, no, we don't want it. They're like, okay. And then they got pressure from a few people. And then all of a sudden it's like, listen, the Chamber of Commerce says we got to show the world that we mean business and we're serious about this. Does this mean now that they hear this, they're going to be like, okay, we can now vacation in Collier County? I don't know. I'm just asking. Maybe they do. Maybe that's what they're looking for. Maybe that's what the Globe is looking for. So we have that issue. We also have some other issues with regard to the latest with coronavirus and some of the things the president mentioned yesterday. People were shocked to find out, I guess apparently, that the president suggested that a couple of things, that the virus is going to get worse before it gets better. It looks like that would be the case. I mean, naturally, we would see cases spike and then come back down. That's the other part about the interesting part about the Collier mask mandate is that, you know, naturally cases are going to go up and then come down. When they start to come down, as they naturally will, just like deaths have been coming down in the state, they naturally will. Then is everybody going to say it's because of the mask mandate? And wouldn't that suggest that those that had a problem with mask mandates or still have a problem with mask mandates, like the governor and the president, that all of a sudden now they're the bad guys? Boy, you can imagine how that would work in an election year. Yeah. But anyway, and the president saying, look, wear a mask if there's no social distancing, whether you like it or not, get a mask. They have an effect. But again, he brought up social distancing, and so did the website that I was describing, the CIDRAP, the Center for Infectious Disease Research and Policy, said the same thing. Look, it's not a substitute for social distancing. It's got a minimal effect, a certain amount, depending on the kind of covering you're using. But at the same time, there are people that have this false sense of security and get too close. But having said that, the important thing is that we know for a fact that we have the evidence that would show that we can be confident in the numbers that are coming out of the state of Florida or any other state when it comes to the amount of infections in the state. There is at least no evidence to show that anything is going on where we could question the numbers when it comes to coronavirus cases. So that's the good part. Oh, wait, this just in. Yeah, we can question some of the numbers coming in. This yesterday, a report out of Sarasota.
I get a phone call asking for me, and I said, yes, this is Mindy Clark, and they said, well, we want you to know that your test was positive. And I said, I looked at the phone like, positive for what? And they said, positive for COVID. And I said, there's no way possible. And she said, oh, yes. She said, you did the test. And I said, no, ma'am.
Mindy Clark had gone to the drive-through testing site at Manatee Rural Health. But before she was able to get swabbed, she left the line because she realized it was for people with symptoms only.
And I said, you need to take that off my record. She goes, well, we don't know now. You have to prove to us that you're negative.
Whoa. Okay. What is that? Well, it turns out that in Sarasota, concerns are arising about numbers that we're getting in the state as some are receiving positive COVID-19 results but never got tested. That was one individual who went on to a Sarasota news organization. Her name is Mindy Clark. Got a call asking for me and said she tested positive. She said, positive for what? She got off of the line that she was waiting to get tested. She never did the test. She decided to leave, and they sent her a positive test result. She ended up having to go and get tests to show that she was negative for it and negative for antibodies. Is that possible?
Clark says if she and many others have been incorrectly identified as positive in the state system so easily, how accurate are the numbers that are released daily?
How accurate are these daily numbers? You know, the ones that Collier County and the mask mandates, because we're going by the cases, and the cases are spiking in the state of Florida. I mean, it's getting out of control, and we're seeing all these numbers going up. I mean, certainly we've got to watch that, and if that's the numbers, then we've got to do something about it. But what if this is happening? And I will be honest with you right now, just as I am honest about what's going on in my home and the books and everything else, and why I'm at the home studios as opposed to the studios downtown. I've heard a few different people in the state of Florida tell me that this has happened to them, that have reached out to me and said that they got positive COVID-19 results and they never took a test. But look, it's just Florida. So at least we got that going for us. We don't have to worry about it. Wait, this just in. No, it's not. Here's a story from The Blaze. State delivers disturbing news to Nashville man. He's COVID-19 positive. There's just one problem. He never took the test. A Nashville, Tennessee man says the state called him several times last week to tell him that he had tested positive for the coronavirus. The man, Brock Ballou, said he never took the test. Look, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why we're hearing more and more about these stories. I don't understand it. I can't imagine that all of these people across the country, there's some concerted effort or there's some kind of website like, hey, why don't you lie about the coronavirus because it helps us all so we don't have mask mandates and help President Trump get reelected.net, where everybody is coordinating to do this. I have a hard time believing that, but why is this taking place? Why are we hearing more and more about this? I've got some people that are texting me right now, heard the same thing from friends in Colorado, never tested, but they told they were positive. Somebody said we had the same thing happen to one of our employees, scheduled a test because he was exposed but got busy and never showed up for the test. We're hearing more and more about this, and I bring this up for a lot of different reasons. Number one, because mask mandates in Collier County, we're told, are happening because we're hearing the increase in cases in the state of Florida, and we've got to do something. Well, what if the cases and the spikes in cases and the numbers that are happening here in the state are not actually the numbers that are the legit? What if a lot of these numbers are being, put it any way you want? And it's not just here. The second thing is, how in the world do we get to this place? How do we get to a place where we're politicizing a virus that people are concerned about? We're not going back to school. The teachers unions, we're going to sue the state. We're going to sue the governor. We're not stepping foot into a school here in this town or anywhere in the state. We've got all the evidence we need. Just look at the uptick in cases. Well, hold on a second. What if they're not where you think? And what if the data shows that everything you're talking about with the risk to kids and the spread is wrong? There is data to suggest that. Do you want to hear it? Again, it's sad that this is happening. And I would like to tell you that it's not. And I would like to tell you that we're all better than this. And I believe that we truly are. But somebody's doing this. Somebody feels like there's a reason why this would be a positive. What is it? Financial gain? Is it financially they gain something from the state, from the federal money and the trillions of dollars that we're getting ready to discuss another stimulus and how much more money will be out there? Is it because of financial gain? Is it because of political gain? Because it makes somebody look bad and somebody may not be reelected president of the United States? What is it? How does it happen? If it was one person or a couple of times in one specific area, you might question it. When it's happening at a national level and we're hearing more and more of these stories, we got questions, but we don't get to dig in on that because you can't question the fact that we all need to have a mask mandate because of the amount of number of cases that are. And again, I'm not saying don't wear masks. All right, we'll get to this more and talk to you as well. A lot of people calling. All right, we'll get to your calls coming up. Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Don't forget to text the word Trump to 239-479-5592. Be part of our change.org petition as we build up support for changing Lee County to Trump County. If the cancel culture is coming for us, we get a say in this. You have power, and you can say something about it as well. Pretty important stuff. All right, let's find out what's happening with traffic up to the minute. Here's Sabrina Katz.
A crash in Fort Myers at Colonial Boulevard and Solomon, slowing traffic at the intersection. No major backups for right now, but keep this in mind, especially as you are heading off of that Midpoint Bridge into Fort Myers. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. Scattered showers and storms again this afternoon, and you'll notice a little more cloud cover and wind breezy at times throughout the day. High temperatures in the upper 80s for most of Southwest Florida. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Take right all along to another level. Rename Lee County Trump County. Let your voice be heard at 925foxnews.com.
If you're far from water, you might think a flood can't happen to you. But the truth is, there are hidden risks that can leave your property vulnerable, like runoff from new development, changing weather patterns, and even wildfires. But if you have flood insurance, you have peace of mind, knowing that you can recover faster. Protect the life you've built. Visit floodsmart.gov/storm to learn more. Brought to you by FEMA and its National Flood Insurance Program.
Hi, this is Matt Caldwell. I spent 8 years in the Florida House fighting for our conservative values. We cut billions in taxes, balanced our budget every year, removed government barriers to job growth, and made huge strides in fixing our water quality. Now I'm looking to use that experience as your next Lee County property appraiser. I've spent the past 20 years working as a professional property appraiser in both the residential and commercial markets. It's something I know well, and I'm the only candidate with this experience in the industry. I'm Matt Caldwell, and through the years, I've proven myself as a trusted, principled conservative. More than ever, it is crucial that we have strong conservatives with a proven record, someone in office that you know will not back down and will always defend our values. I have served you before, and I'm ready to do it again. I'm Matt Caldwell. I'm running for Lee County Property Appraiser, and I'm asking for your vote. Paid by Matt Caldwell, Republican for Lee County Property Appraiser.
It has never happened before and may never happen again. $1 million in credit stimulus at Galliana Kia in Fort Myers. We've teamed up with the most forgiving lenders in America to get everyone approved for the new car they really want. If you've got $500 down and you make at least $2,000 per month, you could be approved for new 2020 Kia Sportage lease, just $199 per month. That's right, a new SUV for $199 per month. Bad credit, first-time buyer, unemployed, overwhelmed, upside down. During the credit stimulus event, all credit situations are welcome. It's first come, first served. So arrive early and be prepared to drive home today. But hurry, because when the $1 million in credit stimulus runs out, this sale is over at Galliana Kia, 1.5 miles south of Daniels Parkway on US 41 in Fort Myers. Open every day, including Sunday. Call 239-481-2600. GallianaCars.com.
You should be driving a Kia from Galliana. Galliana Kia.
36 month lease, 10,000 miles per year, $24.99 to its signing, plus tax, title, dealer, and acquisition fee. 0 security deposit with lender approval expires month end.
Let's talk buttons. Not the buttons on clothes, the ones that do things. The ones that beg the question, what's that button do? There's just something satisfying about pressing buttons. And now, if you have sleep apnea and can't use CPAP, there's a button you can press that's really satisfying. It lets you go from sleeping like this to this. It's called Inspire, and it's as simple as, you guessed it, clicking a button. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body with one click of a remote. That's right, a button. Inspire is a small device implanted in a same-day outpatient procedure. Simply click the button on the Inspire remote before you fall asleep. As you sleep, Inspire keeps you breathing normally and sleeping peacefully. No mask, no hose, just sleep. If you're struggling with CPAP, great sleep awaits at inspiresleep.com. That's inspiresleep.com. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. No mask, no hose, just sleep.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
Eating dinner in your underwear?
Honey, put some clothes on.
Taking cold showers every hour? Or pitching a tent in front of your refrigerator to stay cool. These are things you can do to beat the heat in your home or stay cool this summer the right way with a $69 AC tune-up with no breakdown guarantee. Visit FloridaCoolToday.com for details. Carrier, turn to the experts.
True relief for back and neck pain.
Sitting at home with back or neck pain, lying in a recliner suffering with leg pain or weakness, out of shape from sciatica, stenosis, or neuropathy? Get relief and get your life back. Non-surgical spinal decompression. This is Dr. Johnson, DC at 596 Back. Spinal decompression is an ingenious, innovative treatment that has shattered doctors' traditional ways of treating back or neck problems. Doctors have been left scratching their heads. Finally, avoid needles, epidurals, and drugs. This treatment is also super comfortable. Patients of any age can be treated and doesn't involve any hanging upside down. It uses a relaxing, computerized table to gently remove pressure on spinal nerves and discs, relieving pain, numbness, or weakness. Call our Medicare-friendly office today for a free telephone consultation to find out how spinal decompression can help you. Johnston Spinal Care, 596 Back. 596-2225.
That's 596-2225.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. My friends at Zero Res Carpet and Tile Cleaning want to let you know, look, your safety and your family's safety is their top priority. In the light of the current health and safety concerns, Zero Res wants to let you know about some of the procedures and preventative measures for added protection. Practicing safe social distancing while in your home. You can even leave or stay in another room and they can communicate with you by phone. How cool is that? Cleaning and disinfecting all equipment with EPA-registered disinfectants between each job. The techs are wearing gloves and booties. They're supplementing the supply of products that are EPA approved to clean and disinfect hard surfaces, and as an added preventive measure, and no additional fee, they're going to treat doorknobs with the EPA approved hospital-grade disinfecting products. Look, the top priority is to create peace of mind by providing people with healthy, safe, clean home and work environments, and they're going to continue to do just that through this difficult time. Give them a call at 239-932-9376. That's 239-932-9376, or online at ZeroResSWFL.com. Spell it backwards or forwards, it still spells the same. Z-E-R-O-R-E-Z.
Attention, Southwest Florida. It's not too late. You can still get $8,000 over Kelley Blue Book value for your trade-in, but only at Naples Nissan. Hundreds of new SUV models to choose from, all backed by our exclusive unlimited mile lifetime warranty. Pick out your favorite at NaplesNissan.com. Then come see us on Pine Ridge Road to find out the KBB.com current market value for your trade-in. We'll give you $8,000 more so you can drive that brand new Nissan home today. If KBB says it's worth $5,000, Naples Nissan will give you $13,000. If KBB says $10,000, we'll give you $18,000. You must act fast, though. Visit NaplesNissan.com for full details. Offer on select models with approved credit and cannot be combined.
This Wink News update is presented by Stadium Dry Cleaners. Online at stadiumdrycleaners.com.
Now, this is a Wink News update.
I'm Lindsay Sablon with Wink News. Lee Health's staffed beds are at 100% capacity, but the hospital says everyone will still get the care you need. The hospital system is calling in nurses on paid leave, nurses on sabbatical, and travel nurses so they can open up more beds. Though they are not out of beds, they have reached the maximum that they can adequately staff. 25% of those staffed beds are COVID-19 patients. Starting now, you must have a mask in Collier County. Commissioners voted if you're shopping or eating inside a Collier County business, you must be wearing a face covering. A renewed push to find out who shot and killed Stephon Strouder and Sean Achilles in front of Club Blue in Fort Myers back in 2016. Yesterday, local and federal law enforcement agencies announced Operation Club Blue, a renewed effort to find out who fired into the crowd. 14 others were hurt. A $20,000 reward is up for grabs for any information that leads to an arrest. Lee Health says it received a 16-day supply of remdesivir, an antiviral drug that's been shown to help treat coronavirus patients. The hospital says it's expected to get more shipments today and Monday. Right now, Lee County Schools' back-to-school plan does not require students to wear face masks at all times, but Superintendent Dr. Greg Adkins says that could change. He tells us he meets with the Department of Health regularly and talked about the possibility of not opening 5 days a week as the Commission of Education ordered. Edison Mall wants you to wear a mask. The mall is not mandating it, but says they're leaving the decision up to the individual stores. Customers are also encouraged to follow social distancing and CDC guidelines. I'm Lindsay Sablon with Wink News.
Wink News traffic.
A crash in Fort Myers at Colonial Boulevard and Solomon, slowing traffic at the intersection. No major backups for right now, but keep this in mind, especially as you are heading off of that Midpoint Bridge into Fort Myers. That trip to the Minute Traffic, I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. You can expect another afternoon with scattered showers and storms, mostly cloudy skies, and wind breezy at times. You will see areas of heavy rain off and on throughout the day, and you'll also notice the temperatures will be a little bit lower as well, with most areas capping out in the upper 80s to lower 90s. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Get more than what the internet tells you. Get up to speed on The Drive with Trey Radel. Weekdays 5 to 7. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
I want to talk about Stadium Dry Cleaners. My good friends, they are great people there. I've been going to Stadium Dry Cleaners, I'm telling you, for as long as I can remember. And you may know Larry Rose. Now, Larry is an experienced SEC and NFL referee. Well, I know Larry has a fantastic dry cleaner and a great businessman. Look, you're going to love Stadium Dry Cleaners. They have discounts for our first responders and seniors. They have multiple locations near Publix at Daniels Crossing in Fort Myers, the Gateway Trade Center in Fort Myers, and the Elegant Image Dry Cleaners next to Walgreens on Del Prado in Cape Coral. They are Lee County's leading dry cleaner since 1988. With 30 years of experience in Lee County, I'm telling you, I trust my family's dry cleaning to Larry and the team at Stadium Dry Cleaners. So will you visit them? Visit stadiumdrycleaners.com and look for their monthly specials for great savings.
I'm Mike Gillimbardo. I'm running to represent you in Florida's House of Representatives. I grew up right here in Cape Coral. It's where I went to school, learned to play football, and it's the place I called home while fighting in Operation Iraqi Freedom. Now, it's where I'm raising my family and operating my businesses. President Trump and our freedoms are under attack, and we need strong conservatives in Tallahassee. I fought for you on the battlefield. Now I'm ready to fight for you in Florida's capital. My faith in God and belief in individual liberties have always been a guiding force in my life. Whether on the battlefields of Iraq or fighting for our conservative values at home, I'm passionate about protecting our way of life. My name is Mike Gillimbardo. I'm a husband, father, combat veteran, and business owner. I'm running for the Florida House to fight for our Constitution, to defend our borders, and to stand with President Donald Trump to rebuild the greatest economy in the history of our nation. I'm Mike Gillimbardo, and I'm asking for your vote. Paid by Mike Gillimbardo, Republican for the Florida House.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Stay break, 92.5 Fox News. My name is Drew Steele, and I am so happy that you are joining us and watching this program on YouTube, streaming live each and every day. Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. Please subscribe. It's free. When you go there, just subscribe to the channel. It'll keep it going. So if you enjoy watching, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook, the whole idea is that you are subscribing on the YouTube channel. So that is a great thing. Also, something that is a great thing, it's a Southwest Florida institution. I said it. It's Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD, and that's coming up in about 15 more minutes, maybe a little less than that. So get ready for that. We'll have a little bit of fun this morning. I would say that that is correct, right, Jake? Wouldn't you say it's a Southwest Florida institution at this point? Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for the confidence. I do appreciate that. Now, something else that may soon come to fruition as an institution or more is what I have talked about, the cancel culture coming for everything, anything and everything. And we're going to get into some detail about what this election really is about and what forces are behind this, getting rid of this president. Certainly someone who's not a politician who came along as Donald Trump has, something that for a lot of people was not expected. The president of the United States to be so conservative in a lot of the values and the things that he has done when it comes to policies to, if you will, make America great again and to keep America great. And how, listen, not everybody's, just because somebody comes along and says, I want to be a politician and I'm not one. Well, that doesn't mean that you're right for the job. Okay, I'm just putting that out there. But there are forces that want to get rid of this president for a lot of different reasons, and the length that they will go to, and the latest on that I'm going to talk about. But a cancel culture that also is coming along that is getting a lot of recognition, that is getting a bigger voice than they deserve, a bigger voice than they've ever had before in quite a long time, quite possibly the history of this country, that would come along and have you and force you to change the name of your organization if it's a sports organization, force you to tear things down, force you to remove things, force you to change things about yourself because they say that you are, I don't know, fill in the blank, a racist, a homophobic, a xenophobic, it could be bigoted, whatever the case may be. Whether that is the case or not, in some cases we could debate history and policy, and then we would have a say as to whether or not it's something we want to change. You don't demand that we change something and then we do it, because if we don't, then you'll dox us, you'll find us at our home, you'll bother us when we're out on the streets, you will do things to harm us and to harm the community because you're not getting what you want. No. It doesn't work that way. And so when the cancel culture comes along, and if there's a chance that they might come to Southwest Florida and say, you know what, we're tired of Robert E. Lee being the Lee being the name of the county, that we want it changed, that you have a say in this and you have power. And that power would be to say, okay, you know what? We're going to change the name of Lee County. And we're going to change the name to Trump County. I picked Trump County. That's what I'm saying. The 45th president of the United States. Let's do it. And if you want to be part of this and get ahead of it, well, all you have to do is text the word Trump right now to 239-479-5592. And we'll send you a link to the change.org page to show signatures. We are getting close to 2,000 just to keep them coming. And that helps. And also the process. And I know that Spencer Roach, State Representative Spencer Roach, when I first talked about it a week ago Monday, and I mentioned that we were going to do this, he was one of the first people to say, I'm on board, this sounds awesome, and that he would explore what the possibility is and the process, how this would all work out. So Spencer Roach is joining us right now because I want to get an update on all of this. How are you there, Spencer?
Drew, good morning. Good morning to your listeners. And you're absolutely right. It is time to fight back. And I love this idea of taking a preemptive strike in the war against cancel culture here. So brilliant idea. I did think that, Roach County would have a nice ring to it, but I think Trump County sounds even better. So we'll go with that.
Yeah. I tend to agree. Nothing against the name Roach, but anyway. So what have you found out here, Representative Spencer Roach? What do we have? What's the process that we're looking at?
Yeah, Drew. So let me outline this for your listeners real quick. So this would be a local bill. And what that means simply is that this is a bill that would not have a statewide impact or implication. So this would be a local bill, and we would need the support of the entire legislative delegation in Lee County for this to be successful. And historically, the House leadership and other members of the legislature are very deferential to local bills that have unanimous support from the delegation. What that means here in Lee County is we would need all four of our House members and our state senator representing this area to agree to support this local bill. And then this is a real possibility. We could do this. And, this is a good question for folks to ask the candidates who are running. And every seat is up for grabs right now if they would support this idea. So the first step in doing this is waiting until after the November election to see who, in fact, is representing Lee County in the Florida House and Florida Senate, and then see if we can get their support at the delegation meeting to bring this to the legislature as a local bill.
Yeah, and I would make mention of this because this is an important aspect to all of this. Where there are some that may look at it and scoff at it or question it, you have to understand what the fundamental basis of this is all about. And it's about saying and speaking truth to what is happening with cancel culture, which is they will not stop till they get what they want. They're out there and they're getting a bigger voice each and every day as the media talks about, for example, places like, and I'll throw an extreme out there if you want to, places like Portland, Oregon, where we're hearing people in the state of Oregon, representatives in Congress on the floor of the House saying, oh, there's nothing going on here. These are just peaceful protesters. While I'm watching video this morning on Twitter right now, I'm looking at it as we speak of rioters. These are armed rioters. They've got shields now trying to break into federal property in Portland, Oregon, downtown. I'm talking about helmets and black outfits, Antifa with now shields to block them from getting hit by anything that would be coming their way from those that would protect these buildings. The things that they're shooting, they're shooting ball bearings at the police who are trying to protect these federal buildings. They're throwing all kinds of objects and concrete and things. These anarchists have to be recognized, and we have to call them out, and we have to say that enough is enough. This has to stop. That is to the extreme. You have the power to do that. And on a different level, when it comes to something like this, you have to say, I don't agree with that action. I don't agree with the actions that they're taking there. And at the same time, I don't agree if somebody is going to come along in my town and tell us that we're not only going to have to change, but we don't even have a say as to what that change even looks like. That's a big part of this.
Well, Drew, yeah, two things I would just address very quickly. One is the idea that you mentioned that people may scoff at this or think this is ludicrous. It's not. I mean, when you look at Florida and all around the country, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of counties that are named after presidents. Almost every county in the state of Florida is named after a president, a military hero, or some other civic leader. This is not out of the realm of possibility at all. I mean, how many Lincoln counties can you think of throughout the United States? So I don't think it's ludicrous or preposterous at all to think that we would name Lee County after a president of the United States. I don't think that's anything to scoff at whatsoever. And as to your second point, Drew, I have never been so afraid for the future of my country. When you look at what's going on and the way that Americans are treating each other, it does seem in a very short time that the cancel culture has gone from a Cold War to a hot war, and it's just very scary times that we're living. I never thought I would see this.
Yeah. All right, Representative Spencer Roach, I reached out to you because I wanted you to tell us the latest, to get an update on what was happening and what needed to be done if we wanted to move Lee County into Trump County territory to get ahead of the cancel culture. And I appreciate you getting back to us on that. And we will be in touch, okay? Stay safe and all the best.
You got it, Drew. Have a great day.
All right, we'll see you soon. 239-479-5592. That is Representative Spencer Roach. You know, another thing about cancel culture and statues and the tearing down of or the not being able to put back of a bust of an individual or the like, I found this story fascinating. And it's one of those that you might want to tuck away. You know, Joe Pollack is a senior editor at large at Breitbart. He's got a new book out that we're going to talk about next hour. And coming up, it's called Red November. Will the country vote red for Trump or red for socialism? We'll probably get into a lot of this, but something from Breitbart I thought was interesting. So listen to this. Planned Parenthood is going to remove eugenicist Margaret Sanger's name from their flagship abortion clinic. This is pretty big. Planned Parenthood Greater New York said they're going to remove the name of the founder, Margaret Sanger, from its flagship abortion facility in New York City because of her, quote, harmful connections to the eugenics movement. The announcement also indicated the organization would be working with city officials to rename an honorary street sign that marks the Margaret Sanger Square at the intersection of Bleecker and Mott Streets in Manhattan, a place I know very well. As a matter of fact, my aunt lived in that very area back in the 70s, in the 80s. They said it's an overdue step to reckon with our legacy and acknowledge Planned Parenthood's contributions to historical reproductive harm within communities of color. So are they now recognizing the name Margaret Sanger, the history of Margaret Sanger, the eugenics, the harm committed to communities of color? Now, they're taking her name down, and they're going to get rid of the name of Margaret Sanger, understanding the implications, but still not talking to the amount of abortions that are performed by Planned Parenthood, what they do, and how it's still going to continue. But we're going to take the eugenics racist name out of the founder of it as if that's going to change what they're doing at all. That's really the big question. As you can imagine, nothing's going to change except the name. But there was something else that was fascinating in this article, and I want you to listen to this, and we've got Drew's College coming up in just a second. Listen to this. So in the article, it also talks about how there have been people that have been campaigning to have Margaret Sanger's bust. Many black leaders complained about her bust being removed from the National Portrait Gallery at the Smithsonian Institute. The Smithsonian Institute, as we speak, has a portrait gallery. And it has busts of different individuals. And even Dinesh D'Souza put out a picture of her bust and said, this is the Margaret Sanger bust at the National Portrait Gallery, a lifelong eugenicist. Sanger supported racial segregation and forced sterilization for low IQ, handicapped, and undesirable, quote unquote, black people. She also praised Nazi sterilization laws. That's all true. And then he said, Black Lives Matter, why ignore her racist legacy? Clearly, when it comes to the name, in New York, they're trying to get ahead of this. Not that anything that they do will change, but listen to this. So the Smithsonian comes back and Breitbart reaches out to them and says, well, what about this? Here's their response. I want you to listen to this. They said in response, the National Portrait Gallery, there at the Smithsonian, represents and puts into context significant American biographies through portraiture. The museum is not a hall of heroes, but rather a collection of individuals who have impacted American history and culture in ways both good and bad. Margaret Sanger, founder of the American Birth Control League, is included in the museum's collection, not a tribute to all of her beliefs, but because of her leading role in early efforts to distribute information about birth control and medical information to disadvantaged women, as well as her later roles associated with developing modern methods of contraception. I'm going to stop there. Well, it does go on one more sentence that says, the museum presents the complexities of her as a leader of medical awareness on issues of women's health. I'm going to stop for a second. Isn't that fascinating? Because what if you were to take the Smithsonian Institute's National Portrait Gallery's answer to Breitbart and now put in place Confederate generals, names that people want removed, that they don't like. Put the name Robert E. Lee into this. Watch what happens. The National Portrait Gallery represents and puts into context significant American biographies through portraiture. The museum is not a hall of heroes, but rather a collection of individuals who have impacted American history and culture in both good and bad ways. Robert E. Lee is included in the museum's collection, not in tribute to all of his beliefs, but because of his leading role in fill in the blank. In other words, everybody, even the Smithsonian Institute is admitting that you can keep up portraitures, busts of different individuals, even though they may have been doing things that were evil, that were horrible, that were horrific. They don't have a problem even going to that extreme and keeping somebody up that would be a believer in eugenics. A lot different than Robert E. Lee, or maybe you feel like it's on the same level. But at the same time, if that's where you're at, isn't it fascinating that they would leave her portrait up and nobody would say anything about that and leave that bust there? But if you were to put the same words into that sentence, all of a sudden it takes completely different meaning on, doesn't it? What's the difference? Why can't we keep statues up and portraitures of different people and explain to everybody the good and the bad? Why can't we learn from history? Why can't we have history in front of us to teach? To explain. Some people might make that case. Thought that was fascinating. All right, let's go to break. It's time for Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD. Let's do that right now. Caller number 5. You get to have a little bit of fun with us right now. Caller number 5, you'll get to play. We'll see if you get a PhD today with Drew's College of Political Knowledge. On the way next on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along with traffic. Here's Sabrina Katz.
A crash in Fort Myers at Colonial Boulevard and Solomon, slowing traffic at the intersection. No major backups for right now, but keep this in mind, especially as you are heading off of that Midpoint Bridge into Fort Myers. That trip to the Minute Traffic, I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. Scattered showers and storms again this afternoon, and you'll notice a little more cloud cover and wind breezy at times throughout the day. High temperatures in the upper 80s for most of Southwest Florida. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Join the movement. Rename Lee County Trump County. 925 FoxNews.com. And sign your name today.
Let's talk buttons. Not the buttons on clothes, the ones that do things. The ones that beg the question, what's that button do? There's just something satisfying about pressing buttons. And now, if you have sleep apnea and can't use CPAP, there's a button you can press that's really satisfying. It lets you go from sleeping like this to this. It's called Inspire, and it's as simple as, you guessed it, clicking a button. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body with one click of a remote. That's right, a button. Inspire is a small device implanted in a same-day outpatient procedure. Simply click the button on the Inspire remote before you fall asleep. As you sleep, Inspire keeps you breathing normally and sleeping peacefully. No mask, no hose, just sleep. If you're struggling with CPAP, great sleep awaits at InspireSleep.com. That's InspireSleep.com. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. No mask, no hose, just sleep.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you and review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
If you're looking for a great paying part-time job with flexible hours, check out 2020 Census Jobs. You may have another job, or not. You may even be retired or looking for some extra income, but you can also help make sure that everyone gets counted. So apply today at 2020 census.gov/jobs to help strengthen your community.
I'm here with Mike Roberts with Mortgage Warehouse. Mike, give me an update on mortgage rates. How are things looking?
There is a lot of talk about mortgage rates these days, and for good reason. Mortgage rates are nearing the lowest levels we've seen in years. Anyone that purchased their home in 2017 or 2018 should check into refinancing their mortgage to get a lower interest rate. Give us a call at 313-5000 or apply online at mortgagewarehouse.com. You'll work directly with one of our loan officers right here in Southwest Florida. Our no closing cost program allows you to refinance with no fees out of pocket, no fees rolled into your loan, and you won't pay any Florida mortgage taxes either. If you took out a mortgage in 2017 or 2018, or you have an interest rate above 4%, or you are paying mortgage insurance, also known as PMI, call us at 313-5000, that's 313-5000, or apply online at mortgagewarehouse.com.
Certain restrictions apply. NMLS ID 137154, Equal Housing Lender.
Today's radicalized Democrat Party is attempting to dismantle, disarm, and discredit our frontline heroes. We must fight to stop them before it's too late. But to do that, we cannot send more weak leaders to Washington. It takes a bold, unapologetic conservative to stand up to the liberal mob and protect the institutions that make America great. We can't give in, and we can't give up. I'm Dr. William Figglestaller, and I approve this message because I'm the America First conservative you can trust.
Paid for by William Figglestaller, Republican, House District 19.
Drew's College of Political Knowledge is presented by France Eye Care. Better vision, better life.
Attention, class. It's time for Drew's College of Political Knowledge.
It's Drew's College.
All right, let's go to David. David's in Naples. Hey, David.
Hi, Drew. How you doing?
Fantastic. It's Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD or associate's degree. Question, sir, starts right now. Hey, David, who's the commander-in-chief of the military right now? What's that person's name?
That would be Donald J. Trump.
That is correct, sir. All right, you got an associate's. We'll see if you get a bachelor's degree on this question. How many United States senators are there? How many exactly are there?
100.
That is correct, sir. All right, you got a bachelor's. We'll see if you get a master's degree on this question. George Washington, the first president of these United States. Who was second?
That would be John Adams.
That is correct, sir. All right, you got a master's. We'll see if you get a PhD on this very question. John Kerry was nominated by Democrats to be the presidential nominee in what year? Do you remember what year John Kerry was running for president of the United States? He was nominated. Was it 2000, 2004, or 2008?
2008.
No, it's 2004. 2008 was Barack Obama. 2000 was Al Gore. 2004 was John Kerry, as they call him, the hoity-toity one. That's all right. Well, listen. Hey, you got a master's degree. You're very impressive. David, you were almost right all along. No, you were right all along, no matter what.
Hey, Drew, let me ask you a quick question.
Okay. I didn't know that we had. Hey, Jake, do we have a question portion of this, or is it possible you can hold? How quick? How you got 30 seconds? Can you do it in 30?
Easily. If July and August are named after Julius and Augustus Caesar, and they had slaves, what are we going to call those months from now on?
That's tomorrow's Drew's College of Political Knowledge question. So I'm so glad you brought that. What a tease that is. Good for you, David. All right. Put David on hold. That was good.
This is Daybreak.
92.5 Fox News.
Jason Mon at Mon, Himshute, and Adams Law Group is your Lee County home rule attorney. Their attorneys are here to fight for both you and your family's rights against outside interference. They'll work hard to make sure your business personal home rule isn't threatened by unjust government regulation or dishonest business transactions. So remember, to protect your home rule, please call Jason Mon, your experienced home rule lawyer, 472-2424. That's 472-2424.
Majority Leader of the Florida House, Dane Eagle.
I'm Dane Eagle. I'm running for Congress because experience matters. We need proven conservatives fighting for us in Washington. As the Republican Majority Leader of the Florida House, I have proven myself as a trusted conservative. I cut over $10 billion in taxes while balancing Florida's budget. And I've tackled immigration. I fought beside Governor DeSantis to ban sanctuary cities and pass E-Verify. I'm Dane Eagle, and I approve this message because we cannot afford to take another chance on inexperienced, unproven candidates based on campaign ads. That has failed us in the past, and it will fail us again. When I say I'll do something, it's not an empty promise. It's something I've already proven I can and will do. I'm Dane Eagle, and I have the experience to bring back our economy, fight illegal immigration, and keep America great. Send me to Congress. I will stand with President Trump, and I will fight for America. That's a promise, not an ad.
Thank you, Dane.
Paid for it by Dane Eagle for Congress.
Eating dinner in your underwear?
Honey, put some clothes on.
Taking cold showers every hour? Or pitching a tent in front of your refrigerator to stay cool. These are things you can do to beat the heat in your home or stay cool this summer the right way with a $69 AC tune-up with no breakdown guarantee. Visit FloridaCoolToday.com for details. Carrier, turn to the experts.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 8 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
This Wink News update is presented by CFS Roofing. Online at cfsroofing.com.
Now, this is a Wink News update.
I'm Lindsay Sablon with Wink News. Lee Health's staffed beds are at 100% capacity, but the hospital says everyone will still get the care you need. The hospital system is calling in nurses on paid leave, nurses on sabbatical, and travel nurses so they can open up more beds. Though they are not out of beds, they have reached the maximum that they can adequately staff. 25% of those staffed beds are COVID-19 patients. Starting now, you must have a mask in Collier County. Commissioners voted if you're shopping or eating inside a Collier County business, you must be wearing a face covering. A renewed push to find out who shot and killed Stephon Strouder and Sean Achilles in front of Club Blue in Fort Myers back in 2016. Yesterday, local and federal law enforcement agencies announced Operation Club Blue, a renewed effort to find out who fired into the crowd. 14 others were heard. A $20,000 reward is up for grabs for any information that leads to an arrest. Lee Health says it received a 16-day supply of remdesivir, an antiviral drug that's been shown to help treat coronavirus patients. The hospital says it's expected to get more shipments today and Monday. Right now, Lee County Schools' back-to-school plan does not require students to wear face masks at all times, but Superintendent Dr. Greg Adkins says that could change. He tells us he meets with the Department of Health regularly and talked about the possibility of not opening 5 days a week as the Commission of Education ordered. Edison Mall wants you to wear a mask. The mall is not mandating it, but says they're leaving the decision up to the individual stores. Customers are also encouraged to follow social distancing and CDC guidelines. I'm Lindsay Sablon with Wink News.
Wink News traffic.
A crash in Fort Myers at Colonial Boulevard in Solomon, slowing traffic at the intersection. No major backups for right now, but keep this in mind, especially as you are heading off of that Midpoint Bridge into Fort Myers. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. You can expect another afternoon with scattered showers and storms, mostly cloudy skies, and wind breezy at times. You will see areas of heavy rain off and on throughout the day, and you'll also notice that temperatures will be a little bit lower as well, with most areas capping out in the upper 80s to lower 90s. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Drew Steele in the morning and Trey Radel in the afternoon. 2 doses of what cures liberalism. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
For the past 58 years, Conditioned Air is focused on your comfort. Today more than ever, our business community, our nonprofits, our leaders, and our citizens are relying on each other for strength. It's not a me thing, a you thing, it's a we time in our lives. Conditioned Air is here for you and here for our community. Whether you're looking for routine air conditioning, service and repair for your home, installation of a new air conditioning system in a large commercial property, or anything in between, our Conditioned Air team is eager to help. You can count on the people of Conditioned Air. We are your neighbors, parents of school children, volunteers in the communities, coworkers, consumers, and supporters of all types of businesses. We want to help you when and where you need us, at your business or in your home. Your comfort is essential. Invest wisely. Conditioned Air, the comfort people since 1962, serving all of Southwest Florida. Call 1-888-COLD-AIR or log on to conditionedair.com. License number CAC 1819590.
Chris Crowley is a lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army Reserve and was deployed to the Middle East as part of Operation Iraqi Freedom. Chris has been awarded the Army Commendation Award 5 times, as well as numerous other awards, including the Army Meritorious Service Medal. When not defending us abroad, Chris was in Lee County, working as a prosecutor for 15 years, making sure justice was served for those who committed crimes. Now he's running to be your Republican Party state committeeman to represent our conservative pro-Trump principles to the Republican Party. As the Republican Party drifts away from our conservative principles, we need someone ready and able to stand up and fight for President Trump.
This is Chris Crowley. Unlike my opponent, Matt Caldwell, I proudly supported and voted for President Trump in 2016. We don't need another never-Trumper in office. We need a Republican state committeeman who will stand up and fight for our president. I'm asking for your vote in the August 18th Republican primary. Thank you. Paid for and approved by me, Chris Crowley, for Republican State Committeeman, the conservative choice for Lee County.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592 is the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line. Streaming live on YouTube. You could watch anytime you like. It's Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. Please subscribe to the channel. It helps to keep us going, and it's free. We appreciate you doing that. We also appreciate you texting the word Trump right now to 239-479-5592. Why? Because we know that the cancel culture is going after everything right now. We know they're going after sports names. We know they're going after statues. They're going after military bases. They want to rename everything. The cancel culture eventually will be at our door, whether you like it or not. And knowing that Lee County, right here in Southwest Florida, Robert E. Lee, named after Robert E. Lee, and we know that the bust of Robert E. Lee had to be taken down earlier in the year because they were concerned about its safety, how there are paintings in government buildings downtown that it's just a matter of time before we'll get that knock at the door and people will want to change the name of Lee County. Well, I say we get ahead of it, and that's what we're going to do. Yes, we'll change the name of Lee County. We're going to change it to Trump County. And look, we're in the process. We're talking to people. We're getting your change.org petition, and would love for you to sign up on change.org. All you have to do is just text the word Trump to 239-479-5592, and you can be part of that petition. Send you a link, and it'll take you right there. All right, I am excited about this interview. Joel Pollack is with Breitbart. He's a senior editor at large and House counsel at Breitbart News, and he's got a fantastic new book out. And the book is called Red November. Will the country vote red for Trump or red for socialism? And the one thing I love about the book is that it's a little bit of everything, but it is this factual telling of what Democrats really have been trying to do with primaries and the like. And I want to kind of dig into this a little bit. So we're being joined by Joel Pollack right now on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. It's Drew Steele. How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you, and thanks for that kind introduction.
Oh, well, I appreciate you joining us this early in the morning. And, you know, it's interesting as you write this, Red November, will the country vote red for Trump or red for socialism? It really is that big of a difference. I mean, we see what has happened with the Democrat Party. I guess one of the big questions is how did we get to this place? How did they get so extreme? And is it just kind of been building up to this moment in time?
Well, I talk about that in the book. I give you a sense of where all this came from and why we got to this point. But it goes back, you can trace it back to the 60s or the 90s and the repeated efforts of the left to take over higher education and Hollywood and the media. So that's the background. We've seen a steady conquest of the left by our cultural and educational institutions. But in a more immediate sense, you can see what the left did after President Trump won in 2016. They declared themselves the resistance. They rejected the results of the election, and they drowned out moderate voices. And you had the rise of extremists within the party, and certainly Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and representatives like that represent an extreme far-left point of view. And they have come to dominate the debate within the Democratic Party. There was just a primary in New York this week that was won by a newcomer who believes a lot of the things Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez does, and he knocked off a Democratic Party chairman, Eliot Engel, chair of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. He's gone. So there's been this leftist takeover within the Democratic Party, and the party has moved far, far, far to the left. Now, it's interesting. They did not want Bernie Sanders to be the nominee. The party establishment came together to prevent that from happening because he's not really a Democrat. He's never been in the party, and they didn't want to give up control of the party to someone who really was not a Democrat. But the price they had to pay was they had to give the left control over almost every aspect of policy in the Democratic Party. And you can see it with Joe Biden. He ran as the alternative to Bernie, but now he sounds just like Bernie, calling for, this is a direct quote, revolutionary institutional changes. Revolution, that's what Bernie Sanders was talking about on the campaign trail. And that's what Joe Biden is campaigning on now. He's talking about fundamentally transforming the country. He's not going to be in charge if he wins. He's basically being run by the left. He's being run by the Bernie Sanders ideologues and by the Obama administration alumni who hope to come back into power. He's not in charge of his own campaign, and he's been forced to move to the left along with the rest of his party. So that's, in a nutshell, why we are where we are.
Yeah, and that's interesting. Parts of what you said jump out at me because I've always made the case that the left, the hardcore left in this country, for example, never loved Barack Obama. I don't think that they were big fans of Barack Obama because he never was far left enough for them. I think a lot of things that Barack Obama did were not far left enough to establishment. And it took somebody who was going to be part of the Democrat Party, who was going to be told what to do, who was not going to be, like you said, it was really just going to be the stand-in for what will be the agenda. And it wasn't going to be Barack Obama, but Joe Biden's their perfect foil.
Well, he is perfect in the sense that he presents a false front for what the left is doing. But I do think Obama was more left-wing than any president we'd had until that point.
Sure.
And Obama simply came up in a different environment. Remember, he rose to the fore during the Iraq War and in the wake of 9/11, when Democrats still believed they had to show the public a more moderate face in order to win. But Obama came straight from the left. I mean, there was absolutely no doubt. His racist church in Chicago, Jeremiah Wright, his community organizing, his involvement with socialism in grassroots politics in Chicago. He was a man of the left. The difference is he had to present it as moderation. Yeah. And I think Democrats believed after Obama that they didn't need to pretend anymore, particularly because when Obama lost the House in 2010, remember he had that first setback, he didn't come back toward the middle the way Bill Clinton did after he lost Congress in 1994. Bill Clinton won re-election by becoming more moderate. Obama said, never mind that, I'm going to stick to my positions. I'm actually going to move to the left. And he won re-election after moving to the left. So the lesson that taught Democrats was that they needed to turn out their base to win, that the contest wasn't among independents or moderates. They could win the presidency, they believed, if they moved to the left. And so the lesson they've taken from that, you're seeing them apply it today. They believe they're going to motivate the base to get out and vote if they move to the left. And they're hoping that this coronavirus, that the economy, that the riots in the street, the sense of unrest, that all of that is going to demoralize Trump supporters to the point where the turnout war is going to be won by the left. So Obama got this ball rolling, really, in the way he governed. His moderation, his style, his temperament was always a facade. Obama was very far to the left, and now he's saying quite openly that if he were running today, he would have been more left-wing than he was then, because he just felt like it wasn't possible to be honest about who he was and what he wanted to do. But now he's praising Joe Biden as the most progressive platform in the history of the United States, and he wishes he could do it. And that's the truth. Joe Biden is running as the most left-wing candidate we've ever had, and it might seem odd to people who've watched Joe Biden in politics for half a century. You know, he was the back-slapping, hand-shaking, hair-sniffing politician who was just kind of happy to be around. And yet he's now become the most left-wing candidate because his party has become so extreme.
Joel Pollack joining us on Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. His book, new book, is called Red November. Will the country vote red for Trump or red for socialism? And it's a fascinating read for a lot of different reasons. The facts that are in it and the behind the scenes look with candidates and activists as he kind of went through with the Democrat primaries in this year, and to kind of tell the story and kind of look into some of the aspects of what is happening behind the scenes. I might ask this question. You brought up the demoralizing part. I wonder if that's going to be a big part with the help of the media, who certainly has played a big role. And maybe you can speak to the role that the media has played in all of this, and in the way the Democrat Party is and the way that they're acting. You've got to have people like the media that would agree with this and promote it and kind of help this ideology along. Because I think if it were the opposite, it would be a tough road. But to the degree that they're at now. But the demoralizing part of it, what about that? I can't tell you how many people I talk to that say, Joel, they say, you know what? I want this all to go away. And as Republicans, they just want it to stop. They want the attacks to stop. They want the worrying about being doxxed if they say the wrong thing. They want, and they feel like the way that this will go away is if they just sit it out. Is that a big part of this? Like, I know you mentioned it, but how big is that role?
Well, let me just speak to that for a second. You can't sit it out because you won't be able to sit it out. The idea that this is going to go away is false, and I'll explain why. If the Democrats can riot, if they can impeach the president on a ridiculous charge, if they can accuse Trump of Russia collusion and make his stories up for 3 years, if they can lie, cheat, and steal, and then win, they're going to do it again. And they might ease off for the first few months of the Biden administration if he wins, just to give everyone the impression that he's the one who stopped all the violence. But the next time there's any kind of serious political issue, when there's something you really want to defend, they're going to do it again. Because they've learned now, you will have trained them that they can use violence and they can use fear to get what they want. You will never be free again if you reward them for using mob tactics to take over the government. And so you can think it's a pleasant illusion that this goes away after Donald Trump leaves office, whether it's November, January next year, or whether it's in 5 years. It's not going to go away unless you stand up to it. And the only thing that this radical movement understands is defeat. The only reason we got Bill Clinton in the 1990s and the moderate politics of the Democratic Party at that time was because Ronald Reagan beat them twice, and then they lost again in 1988 with Michael Dukakis running as a liberal. The left learned that they had to move to the center if they wanted to win elections. And that's better for the country. It might not be better for the Republican Party because a moderate Democratic Party is more competitive. I mean, Republicans were upset to lose power in 1992 and upset that Bill Clinton governed for the whole 1990s, basically. But the country was happier. If you want a happier, more stable country, you have to teach the left a lesson. And the lesson is you cannot use violence. We're not going to be cowed by fear. Once you let them do this, if you let them use violence and this coup attempt, which is what the impeachment was, and Russia collusion and all of this stuff, spying on the opposition, if you let them do it, they will always do it. It's not going away. You'll get a little vacation from it maybe when Joe Biden throws his inauguration party. And then he takes over, and the left are in charge, and the next time you want to vote to change something, they will steamroll you. That's what's happened in California. It's now a one-party state where I live. Let me just tell you, the future does not look good. If you think you want this in the rest of the country, California's got lovely weather and all of that. It's got problems it can never solve. And the reason it can never solve it, and the reason we're all just sort of waiting here for the moment when reality hits, is because there's no opposition party. And the reason there's no opposition party is that once the left gets its hooks in government, it never leaves. You can't let the extreme left do this. So I hear what you're saying. I know people are demoralized. And I know that people listening to media are probably more likely to be demoralized because the media put out a steady stream of bad stories. But let me just give you this insight. The likeliest scenario in which Donald Trump wins re-election, in other words, what was always going to happen is he was going to be behind in the polls on Election Day because he's not going to win the popular vote. It's going to have to be like 2016. He's going to win the electoral vote. So when you see the polls have Donald Trump down, that's fine. That's the way it was almost always going to be. I mean, you'd like to see him in the lead, but if you were in the lead, the Democrats would have given you a different candidate instead of Joe Biden. They'd be busy trying to figure out how to dump Biden and replace him with someone more convincing, because Biden's actually a very weak candidate. But Donald Trump's going to come into Election Day, win or lose, behind in the polls. That's just a reality. It doesn't mean he's losing the election. The fact that Donald Trump is behind in the polls is ordinary. He's going to have to win from behind. It was always that way. And, ever since the Florida recount of 2000, I mean, just look at the way the media covers any Republican. They always present it as if there's no way the Republican can win. So that's just par for the course. You can't let it get you down. This is how the media function. And my suggestion is for Republican voters and Trump supporters, just stay out of the media game. Just focus on the values. And let me tell you, the values on which the candidates are running, Joe Biden is running from a losing position. You cannot run against the country and win. He can change his message, but right now his message is that America is racist and that we have to have radical institutional change. I think people are tired of radical changes. Yeah. People have had upheavals in their work lives. They've had upheavals with coronavirus. People just want stability and strength. That's not what Biden is offering. He's offering instability, radical change, and weakness. He's not a strong leader. But running against the country, telling Americans on July 4th that their country is racist, that is a losing position. So I would just encourage people, don't look at the polls, look at what the two candidates are standing for, and ask yourself if what Biden is running on is something that has ever won before or that deserves to win. If the majority of Americans can nod along with Joe Biden and can agree with the Democrats that, yes, our country is racist, well, maybe it's over. Maybe it was over a long time ago. And then, you just live with the consequences, and we all just sort of ride out this American thing until it collapses.
Yeah,
Hopefully not.
I don't believe it. Yeah, but I don't believe it.
If you believe that we are better than that, then Trump has a chance to win.
Yeah. Yeah, and I might make this case again that it's a huge reason why I'm doing this idea of changing the name of Lee County to Trump County and fighting back against the cancel culture, because we do have the power. We don't have to sit back and allow others to come into our town and tell us that things need to change. And, oh, by the way, we're going to be the ones to dictate it. We have the power to stop it and change that with the power and the attitude of not allowing people to dictate. And so that's a large portion of why, when I talk about this cancel culture movement here in our area in Southwest Florida and changing the name of Lee County to Trump County, is for that very reason, is to make the point to people that you do have the ability and the power to stop this, that it doesn't have to be steamrolled onto your front door and you have no control and no power. And I believe that you do.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And look, I think that there's a place for having these kinds of debates over what symbols we have, what names we have, but you don't have it under threat from a mob.
Right.
This mob, by the way, has no education, no sense of history. I mean, these are kids who've basically come up through the school system. A lot of these are young people who have no idea what they're talking about. They're not just attacking Confederate names. They're knocking over abolitionist statues. They're vandalizing the Lincoln Memorial. They just want to cancel history. It's not about canceling the Confederacy or whatever. It's about canceling everything that came before. You can't build a future if you don't have a past. And that's the problem. They just have no sense in what it takes to run a responsible society. They have no sense in what it takes to put bread on the table. I mean, my joke is that socialism is a luxury good. You can only afford to dream of revolution if you don't have to worry about where your next meal's coming from. You got to get up in the morning and make a paycheck and make payroll or whatever. You got to pay the bills. You don't have time for this. Yeah. And you know that the system where you wait for government to do everything just doesn't work. Yeah. But these kids, a lot of them have lived in college dorms if they've ever even left their parents' basements. They have no idea how anything runs. And you can't give in to them because it never stops. With teenagers, the rebellion is the point. It's not about achieving something. And these people are basically behaving like teenagers. And the responsible approach to it is to say, you can do what you want, but I'm an adult. If you want to be an adult too, treat me like one, and don't force me to do something just because you read a book once.
Yeah. Remember the good old days when rebellion was breaking curfew? I remember that. I came up. I'm home 15 minutes late. All right, I can't go out tomorrow, but I had fun for 15 minutes. All right. This is a great book. I encourage you. You can get it at all your usual places, Amazon and the like. Joel B. Pollack, author of Red November, Will the Country Vote Red for Trump or Red for Socialism? Get out, get the book. And Joel B. Pollack joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. This was fantastic. I really do appreciate you getting up early with us and joining us. And hopefully we'll get a chance to do this again. All the best.
Thank you. You too.
All right. 239-479-5592. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Cancel the cancel culture mob. Be part of the movement to push back. Rename Lee County Trump County. Sign your name now at 925foxnews.com.
My name is Crystal Kenzo, and for the past 2 years, I've proudly served as your elected clerk of the circuit court and comptroller. Through our audits of government spending, I've saved taxpayers millions of dollars. Moving forward, I will lead our office into the next generation of services with first-class, streamlined, and automated access to those services. I ask for your vote on August 18th. Political advertisement paid for and approved by Crystal K. Kenzo, Republican, for Collier Clerk of the Circuit Court and Comptroller.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and we've got my friend Dave Meister, owner of the Floor Meisters in Naples, on the phone. And Dave, I got to tell you, the selection of floor coverings of Floor Meisters, unbelievable, fantastic. I've seen it myself, and the choices are there. But what we really want to talk about today is this Dreamweaver line of carpets. Talk about it.
I'll tell you what, Drew, this is the hottest thing since 5-buckle overshoes. We're just selling the heck out of it. Comes in 9 different patterns, 12 colors to a pattern. It has 8 warranties, and it even includes steps. The stain warranty will take care of wine, mud, and even pet accidents. So this is perfect for Jake.
Yeah, perfect for Jake, and perfect for me, and perfect for you, too. If you haven't been to the Floor Meisters, really owe it to yourself to visit their store, see their selection of Dreamweaver carpets. It's there at 6281 Naples Boulevard, next to Costco. Now, whether it's carpet, tile, laminate, or hardwood flooring, they have it all. So give them a call today at 239-596-4964 or on the web at floormeisters.com.
If you're far from water, you might think a flood can't happen to you. But the truth is, there are hidden risks that can leave your property vulnerable, like runoff from new development, changing weather patterns, and even wildfires. But if you have flood insurance, you have peace of mind, knowing that you can recover faster. Protect the life you've built. Visit floodsmart.gov/storm to learn more. Brought to you by FEMA and its National Flood Insurance Program.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and yes, Ryan Hammond Painting and Contracting. I love these guys. I love the company. I can tell you personally, I've used them multiple times over 7 or 8 years. A company that's been in Southwest Florida since 2001. The great staff, the way they communicate, every idea that my wife had that she wanted to do with regard to painting and contracting, boom, just like that, they were on it. So what can they handle? How about anything to do with restoration or repair? Coatings, like the coating in my garage is amazing. They do over 700 clients annually. You don't have to take my word for it. They're one of the highest reviewed contractors for what they do, maintaining 4.9 to 5 stars, and I can see why. So you're thinking about a repaint, you're thinking about your garage floor, you're thinking about some remodeling. I'm telling you, Ryan Hammond Painting and Contracting. So give them a call today, 239-872-2559. That's 239 239-872-2559. See the experience that I have had with Ryan Hammond Painting and Contracting, and you will say it as well. They are the best.
Today's radicalized Democrat Party is attempting to dismantle, disarm, and discredit our frontline heroes. We must fight to stop them before it's too late. But to do that, we cannot send more weak leaders to Washington. It takes a bold, unapologetic conservative to stand up to the liberal mob and protect the institutions that make America great. We can't give in, and we can't give up. I'm Dr. William Figglestaller, and I approve this message because I'm the America First conservative you can trust.
Paid for by William Figglestaller, Republican, House District 19.
If you needed heart surgery, who would you call? A doctor who's done it every day, or a doctor who's done it once a year? The same is true about your erectile dysfunction. At the Fort Myers Men's Clinic, our Florida physicians focus on one thing: solving your ED. High blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, prostate cancer, these all contribute to your ED. And our physicians at the Fort Myers Men's Clinic know how to solve your problems. We have over 50 different custom formulations tailored just for you. You get to try the medication containing FDA-approved ingredients right in our office. Your total cost for the consultation, test dose, testosterone, and PSA test is only $99. If the test dose doesn't work, you pay us nothing. So you have absolutely nothing to lose, but everything to gain. Call now, 239-317-7777. That's 239-317-7777, and move from skeptic to believer. 317-7777, 317-7777, or online at fortmyersmensclinic.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Levins, and I'm running for Lee County Sheriff. For more than 30 years, I've served on the front lines of law enforcement, all right here in Lee County. Now, as radicalized Democrats attempt to open our borders, destroy our churches, and defund the police, it is more important than ever to have a pro-cop, pro-Trump, pro-law and order sheriff who won't give in to the liberal mob and who will fight for you each and every day. That's exactly who I am, and that's exactly what I'll do. I'm Jim Levins, running for Lee County Sheriff, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Jim Levins, Republican for Lee County Sheriff.
If you're looking for a great-paying part-time job with flexible hours, check out 2020 Census Jobs. You may have another job, or not. You may even be retired or looking for some extra income, but you can also help make sure that everyone gets counted. So apply today at 2020census.gov/jobs to help strengthen your community.
Take control of your home's water. What does that even mean? Well, look, if you're thinking about taking control of the chlorine that's in your water, you're just tired of it. You know it's ruining your appliances. And you know that your family does not enjoy drinking water out of the faucet. They don't enjoy showering in it. Give Pelican Water Systems a call. Talk to my buddy Max. Schedule your free Pelican water test right now. Man, you're not going to believe what you find in your water. And they don't need to come in your home to test it. They have a zero contact option. And for city or well water, you're going to love the way your water tastes from every faucet. And Pelican, as you probably know, has both the industry-leading salt-free smart combo, so there's no lugging in bags of salt, and they have the Advantage salt system as well, so they have both salt and salt-free. And this month, you can save 15% on the Pelican salt-free smart combo. It's the same one I have, with UV protection. Now, UV protection, it helps reduce harmful bacteria, and it even works in a boil water alert. Had those before? Well, Pelican Water Specialists are standing by, taking your call right now. 239-880-7799. That's 239-880-7799. Or schedule online at PelicanWestFL.com.
This Wink News Update is presented by Stevie Tomato Sports Page in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples.
Now, this is a Wink News Update.
I'm Lindsay Sablon with Wink News. Lee Health's staffed beds are at 100% capacity, but the hospital says everyone will still get the care you need. The hospital system is calling in nurses on paid leave, nurses on sabbatical, and travel nurses so they can open up more beds. Though they are not out of beds, they have reached the maximum that they can adequately staff. 25% of those staffed beds are COVID-19 patients. Starting now, you must have a mask in Collier County. Commissioners voted if you're shopping or eating inside a Collier County business, you must be wearing a face covering. A renewed push to find out who shot and killed Stephon Strouder and Sean Achilles in front of Club Blue in Fort Myers back in 2016. Yesterday, local and federal law enforcement agencies announced Operation Club Blue, a renewed effort to find out who fired into the crowd. 14 others were heard. A $20,000 reward is up for grabs for any information that leads to an arrest. Lee Health says it received a 16-day supply of remdesivir, an antiviral drug that's been shown to help treat coronavirus patients. The hospital says it's expected to get more shipments today and Monday. Right now, Lee County Schools' back-to-school plan does not require students to wear face masks at all times, but Superintendent Dr. Greg Adkins says that could change. He tells us he meets with the Department of Health regularly and talked about the possibility of not opening 5 days a week as the Commission of Education ordered. Edison Mall wants you to wear a mask. The mall is not mandating it, but says they're leaving the decision up to the individual stores. Customers are also encouraged to follow social distancing and CDC guidelines. I'm Lindsay Sablon with Wink News.
Wink News traffic.
Wet roadways this morning. Showers happening around Collier Boulevard, especially if you're heading onto the alley. So make sure to watch that following distance. Also, delays from the crash in Fort Myers continue at Colonial and Solomon. Eastbound slowdowns on Colonial. And there is a crash reported at Heritage Farms Road and Gladiolus. This is to the east of Summerlin. No major backups for right now. Just a tap on your brakes heading through. The Trip to the Minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. You can expect another afternoon with scattered showers and storms, mostly cloudy skies, and wind breezy at times. You will see areas of heavy rain off and on throughout the day, and you'll also notice that temperatures will be a little bit lower as well, with most areas capping out in the upper 80s to lower 90s. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Take right all along to another level. Rename Lee County Trump County. Let your voice be heard at 925foxnews.com.
Steven Tomatoes sports page. Come for the food, Steve for the sports.
It's Big Al from Stevie Tomatoes Sports Page. Do you feel like you're the forgotten person in this great country, working hard all your life and contributing to this country's greatness, but taken for granted by our politicians' quest for voters? Using their slogan, more taxes will set you free. At Stevie's, you are not forgotten. We love our customers and never want them to feel forgotten. We deliver the value you deserve with our food, service, and pricing. Making our customers feel special is our happiness. As the owner of Stevie Tomatoes, we cater to the forgotten person. Those of you who go about every day doing what it takes for them and their family while contributing to this country's greatness, its culture and values. I personally invite you to allow us to be a small part of what makes you feel special, and we promise to obtain your complete satisfaction. I guarantee it. For daily specials, go to StevieTomato.com. Stevie Tomato Sports Page in Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Naples. Come, come, come.
We are Moran Wealth Management. Passionate about learning what's important to you and your family. Personable, with 24 professionals dedicated to attentive, customized service and focused on client relationships. Performance-driven. As part of Barron's top 1,200 advisors, Tom Moran, founder, CEO, and senior PIM portfolio manager, is Florida's highest-ranked advisor for 2019. Call 239-920-4440 today or visit MoranWealthManagement.com. Moran Wealth Management. Passionate, personable, performance-driven. Barron's rankings are based on data provided by thousands of advisors. Factors included in the rankings were assets under management, revenue produced for the firm, regulatory record, length of service, quality of practice, and client retention. Investment products and services are offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC. Moran Wealth Management is a separate entity from WFAFN.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, 239-479-5592. Streaming right now on the YouTubes where you could watch. Here I am. Hi, how are you? In the non-palatial home studios. Jake is back over there at the Big Boy Studios as we do this very program live on YouTube, streaming live. Drew Steele Radio. Just type that into the search bar, Steele with 3 E's. And while you're there, subscribe. It's free, but it helps to keep this going and to continue to have the video portion of the program out for YouTube and even for Facebook. All right, time for the top 5 audio clips of the day. Here we go. It's the 5 at 8:35.
Drew's Top 5 at 8:35 is brought to you by Moran Wealth Management. Isn't it time to review your portfolio options? Go to MoranWM.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
Number 5.
Well, that didn't work out very well. Where did it go? All right. As I'm talking on the air and this thing is not... Why didn't that work? What happened to me? All right, let's try it again. Do it again, Jake. This time, here.
Top 5 at 8:35 is brought to you by Moran Wealth Management. Isn't it time to review your portfolio options? Go to moranwm.com.
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
Number 5.
You heard a different tone coming from the president today, probably in part because of his low poll numbers in all of these national polls.
To some extent, yes, Wolf. I mean, he doesn't have the band back together. This was more of a solo performance, but the song, I think, basically remains the same. The president was downplaying the severity of the resurgence that we're seeing right now, and he's painting a rosy picture.
Okay, I just got to stop. Just in case you were wondering whether or not when the president stepped up to the podium and was talking about the latest with coronavirus and having a press conference, task team press conference and trying to relay to the media because they're always demanding that he tell them more about what's going on with coronavirus and his thoughts. And when he expresses his thoughts and he has the media around him for CNN and Jim Acosta, it's never enough. Do you understand that it's never going to be enough for the left and the media in this country? It's never, ever going to be enough. It'll always be wrong just because you know Donald Trump.
Number 4.
You have it increasing now in 40 states across the nation. How do you keep the virus in 40 states coming from New York? We now have people coming to New York fleeing the other states because it's the quote-unquote safe state.
Okay, hold on a second. That was Andrew Cuomo, presser yesterday, saying that there are people fleeing states like Florida, Texas, California, and heading to New York because New York is now the safe state. Is he serious? Is he kidding? I'm not sure if he's kidding or if he's serious, but if there really are people, I would love to see somebody on the news going, I had to get out of there. You don't know what it's like back there in Florida. It's just. It's awful, and I just gotta kiss the ground that Andrew Cuomo walks on. This is. Oh, you mean I can't kiss the ground? The police is real. You've defunded the police departments here. Is it safe here?
Number 3.
We're asking everybody that when you are not able to socially distance, wear a mask. Get a mask, whether you like the mask or not. They have an impact. They'll have an effect, and we need everything we can get.
That was the president yesterday at the coronavirus task team press conference, and a big story. A lot of people focusing on that. The president saying, look, wear a mask. And if there's no social distancing going on, you like it or not, you got to wear a mask because it has an effect. And I want to dig in a little bit to that topic. Because it does have to do with Collier County and the mask mandate and a little bit of that, and get your thoughts on that coming up.
Number 2.
Mindy Clark had gone to the drive-through testing site at Manatee Rural Health. But before she was able to get swabbed, she left the line because she realized it was for people with symptoms only.
And I said, you need to take that off my record. She goes, well, we don't know now. You have to prove to us that you're negative.
What do you mean take it off her record? You have to prove that she's negative. That was Mindy Clark, someone in Sarasota who went to get tested for COVID and got off the line and got a result of positive for coronavirus, but she never took the test. Now, if you're sitting there saying, that's crazy. Well, it's just one person. I mean, what could that one person do to the numbers in the state? She's not the only one, everybody.
Number 1.
To wear a mask. He admitted that things will get worse before they get better. He said eventually it's going to disappear. How far do you think all that goes in addressing this crisis that's still killing hundreds of Americans every single day?
Well, I think with the president's comments today, he recognized the mistakes that he has made by now embracing mask wearing, and the recognition this is not a hoax. It is a pandemic that has gotten worse before it will get better because of his inaction. And in fact, clearly, it is the Trump virus.
Yep. She went there. It is now the beginning of the Trump virus.
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
Nancy Pelosi on CNN yesterday, the president, coronavirus, look, it's going to get worse before it gets better. That's just the way it is. And that's naturally how things work with a virus, whether it's the Spanish flu in 2017, 1917, 18, even what's going on right now across the globe, it's going to get worse before it starts to come down and get better. That's the natural progression of things. But no, that's not what we're talking about now. The focus needs to be on the president of the United States and the fact that, it is now the Trump virus. That's where everybody is going to go. Is that what we have, everybody? Is that what you believe? And how does that work right now in the narrative across the country when, the president says
some areas of our country are doing very well, others are doing less well. It will probably, unfortunately, get worse before it gets better. Something I don't like saying about things, but that's the way it is.
He doesn't like to say it, but that's the way it is. He's trying to be optimistic about fighting this virus. But when you have the headwinds of a media that hates your guts and a liberal party that hates your guts, and of course one and the same, then it's really hard to give you information, because when you try to give valuable information about masks and whether or not they work or not, and mask mandates like in Collier County and whether or not that's going to work or not, we're not allowed to even have that discussion. It's just the left's way and Democrats' way, because if we make you believe it's Trump's virus and that's what it is right now, then hey, he might lose the election. And wouldn't that be swell, Chuck Schumer?
The president can't even model good behavior and encourage Americans to wear masks.
He just did.
When the COVID crisis task force briefings resume this afternoon, the administration should keep Trump away from the podium.
You mean the way the Democrat Party keeps Joe Biden away from microphones and questions? No, I'm not kidding. They have basically done that. Joe Biden, who was able to slink away from a microphone, not to have to worry about asking or being asked any questions yesterday. That did happen. That did take place. But I digress. I would love to know what you think about the Collier County mask mandate as well, because I can give you study after study that shows that the concerns about whether masks work or not, certainly the fear of some, even in the infectious disease and research and policy areas, like at CIDRAP, the Center for Infectious Disease Research and Policy at the University of Minnesota, who said, look, we just want to let you know that if your Aunt Betty is making a cool-looking mask out at the Bridge Club, and she's sewing it together, that is awesome. That's great. But every fabric is different. And if you're trying to say that just having a face covering is going to stop you from getting a virus, well, they're saying, not me, that, that's not really the case, and the effectiveness, because every fabric has a different filter. And a cloth mask or face covering does very little to prevent the emission or inhalation of small particles. They had a commentary, and more recently by others, that suggested in an open letter to the WHO signed by 239 scientists, inhalation of small infection particles is not only biologically plausible, but the epidemiology supports it as an important mode of transmission for SARS virus and the COVID-19 virus. And the fact is that when you have masks on, you're not getting the kind of filtering that you would expect to have, that if everybody wears a mask, that it is guaranteed that nobody is going to get the virus now, because you've had this mandate mandated by the government. But putting that aside for just a second, they also mentioned the fact that wearing a cloth mask, well, what's the big deal? It's better than nothing, right? Well, the problem with that is that there's a false sense of security, not my words, their words, in this commentary and in this piece. Not my words, their words, about the fact that when you have this false sense of security, then you start to social distance less, which is a better way of social distancing is going to be better than having the mask on. Obviously, having both is going to be protection, but you start to have this false sense of protection, and you get closer. And as you get closer, their concern is that it's going to negate whatever kind of benefit there may possibly be with your Aunt Betty's mask, which is super cool, by the way. Because fabrics are different, because the filtering's different. I'm just putting that out there. And then we have the story that we brought up earlier, and the concerns that when you have a mask mandate in Collier County, How in the world in Collier County are you going to enforce this? Who's going to do it? Is it going to be, snitches and snitches get stitches? But in this case, they don't get stitches because a snitch is a positive thing. Because if you see somebody that's not wearing a mask, then you should snitch them out to who in Collier County? And how are they going to go about this? Are we going to have people roaming the streets saying, hey, stand still, I got to write you a ticket? I mean, how does the enforcement portion of that work? I'm just asking. People have asked me. I don't know how that portion works and how that's going to help. We look at that, and when we know that the Collier County mask issue has been done the way it has been done because they're looking at the uptick in COVID-19 cases here in the state of Florida, we also need to know the uptick in cases. It's not because there's anything weird going on with the numbers like Mindy Clark that we just mentioned in Sarasota.
I get a phone call asking for me, and I said, yes, this is Mindy Clark. And they say, well, we want you to know that your test was positive. And I said, I looked at the phone like, positive for what? And they said, positive for COVID. And I said, there's no way possible. And she said, oh, yes. She said, you did the test. And I said, no, ma'am.
No, she didn't. Mindy Clark didn't do the test. She never did the test, but she got tested positive and she got a result back positive. Then she goes to the doctor and has to get a negative and an antibody negative as well, both, to show them that, no, I'm not positive. And this has happened. I can't tell you how many people have texted me and said this has happened to them. And they know people. And I'm looking at a story out of Nashville, The Blaze. State delivers disturbing news to Nashville man. He's COVID-19 positive. There's just one problem. He never took the test. Hearing more and more about these stories. Now, is it hey, let's all get together and lie about COVID-19 because we don't want to wear a mask.net? And there's a website that everybody's going to and coordinating to put these lies out there? Or is there something to this story? And maybe we should locally and on a national and state level, maybe our journalists out there should get on this a little more and find out if this is true. Because if we're doing mask mandates based on numbers that are not legit numbers, then we might have a question as to what's going on here. I'm just putting that out there again. Jake, let's take a break. And when we come back, we can talk more about this. 239-479-5592. We all want the numbers. We all want the facts. We all want to know the truth. I hear more and more stories about this, but people are concerned. All right, let's find out what's happening with the remainder of the forecast. Stay break 92.5 Fox News right all along. Let's get that right now.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. Scattered showers and storms again this afternoon, and you'll notice a little more cloud cover and wind breezy at times throughout the day. High temperatures in the upper 80s for most of Southwest Florida. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Wink News at the top and bottom.